No, he came back.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
We're live now. Yeah. Yeah, we live. He had 24 at half, right? Something like that.
He had 24 in the first quarter.
Oh,
With
my.
24 at half, though. He didn't score anything in the
What?
second quarter.
Okay.
Oh,
Told
man.
y'all best player in the league, bro.
Okay, Ken.
What up, everybody? Come on in, join the party. There's the issue with Twitch, but as long as we're on YouTube, we are good to go.
He said, "Fuck y'all, Twitch."
Oh, well.
Nah, it said it was having a trouble. It tried to blame Twitch, so it's just gonna keep trying. So I can't troubleshoot that right now. But welcome. Q will be joining us, but he will be late. We have a packed show, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead in Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth Beans. Joining me, we have Nick, Shelton, FIFO, and Spike.
What's going on?
Up?
Yo, what's happening?
What's up? Glad to have everybody here. Hope you guys caught the NBA special episode we did last night. So definitely go check that out. It's on the channel now. We did our top 10 players. Talked about a couple of storylines that were going on in the NBA and made very, very super early week one, whatever you want to call it, NBA predictions. So as we have done for the NFL season, we will do our quarterly check-ins or so and update the list as we move forward. But tonight...
So when's that first check-in in March? Is that when we check in?
Do first? Wow, you trying to figure out which day you want to take off?
That's what it is.
I need to know when I need to be traveling, Ken. That's what I need to know.
Oh man. Well, let's go ahead and get into the news of the week. It was a rough week for some of our esteemed hosts, except for one person in particular, but Nick had it rough and Spike had it rough. It was a rough week. And 12 Kyle is catching it right now as the Yankees. Are they still trailing in that game, Shelton?
Yes,
it was
2-1. It's 2-1 right now.
Okay.
They got two men on, and they got two men on.
They got it.
They have to. They got to.
If they don't get this, bro, the whole city turned against Judge. I promise you. That.
Carlos Stanton is up to bat with two men on and one out, so they should be able to score right here.
He good for one game. What's his name?
Soto Stanton about pitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with Rob. Ken Sheldon is a Panthers fan, so it was a rough week for him too.
Hey Rob, I'm still a closet Panthers fan, man.
We know it ain't closet. Like we know fully. Like you out of the closet. You
all right, Lou. All right, Lou.
Pause, Lou. Come on.
You don't want to put it out there, Shelton.
Okay. All right, man. Let's jump into some college football first. After beating the Cincinnati Bearcats at home 34-23, the Colorado Buffaloes are now ranked number 23rd in the AP Top 25. The question is, should Shadeur Sanders be a Heisman candidate for what he has accomplished this season? Oh, who do I want to start with here? Let's go with FIFO. What you thinking about this, bro? Any commentary on this?
Yeah, I got a little bit of commentary. I think he should be in the conversation, but I don't think he should be nowhere on the top of the list. I don't even think he should be like one of the four, the top four. But I think you should mention his name because he hasn't really had a signature win, but he's had some really good moments. And I think that, when you're evaluating him, it's more like he's definitely a pro, but I don't know if you can argue that he's the best player in college football. And that's not to diminish anything of his greatness because they wouldn't be where they are right now without him at QB. But I just don't think that he's the greatest college player currently or having the greatest college season out of any player right now. I still think Cam Ward is a little bit higher to him. The running back out of Boise State, I can't think of his name. He stands like Jason Voorhees in the background.
Genty.
Yeah, Ashton Genty.
Genty.
You know, so there's other players that are having definitely better seasons, but I think that outside looking in, he should definitely be mentioned. But that's where I'm at with Shadeur.
Real quick before I hand it off to Spike, we're gonna jump to you next. But TJS_6. Look, we have done recaps after Colorado wins. It's just the last couple of times the games have been late.
I know somebody's gonna bring that up.
I hate it.
You see they gone, TJ.
We'll get back to him, but man, it's 10 o'clock. Like when that game got out of hand, I went to bed. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. And then it was one night I was up. And we just didn't do it, but these 10 o'clock games.
TJ, Ken and Nick don't ever sleep, bro. Don't let them fool you. They don't sleep.
No, that wasn't. I wanted to go to bed. I was hoping Ken didn't, because I knew I was up. I was hoping Ken wouldn't say nothing to me after that game with Cincinnati. I wasn't ready to talk to nobody. And then
I was in the bed, bro.
Yeah, Ken was out of town the other game, so we didn't get a chance to,
right?
Because I hit him up about that. But like that's why we have the takes now to make up for the fact that we didn't, address.
He was in Colorado. That's
funny.
But now I bring it up now so we can talk about it.
Yeah. So go ahead, Spike.
I disagree with FIFO. Genty, Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, and Shadeur Sanders. Those are the top 4 players in college football right now. Regardless of the record that Colorado has, we've seen every week Shadeur come out there and look like a professional quarterback, arguably the best player on the field. He can't help what the defense does or what the coaching does or some of the mishaps that happened that made them lose 2 games. He is one of the top 4 people in the country. And when it comes to Heisman finalists, they bring 4 to the table. He's one of the 4. I can't name, I can't safely name someone else above him and be like, oh yeah, he deserves it over Shadeur, because that person's not there.
Lou, somebody said you just named 5.
I named Cam Ward, I named Shadeur, I named Hunter, and I named Genty. That's 4. I don't even know the
just reading
player.
the chat.
Shit.
Wow.
Sean, you go ahead.
Yankees
Grand
home run.
slam. Okay.
Yeah, good job, Yankees, for keeping it alive. This one's tough, but I will definitely say I think that he is in the conversation for sure. He should be. With Travis being right now, just so y'all know, Oregon's Dylan Gabriel has the highest odds right now, which is surprising to me, to win the Heisman. He does not have the stats that Shadeur even has. But right now,
undefeated and he's number 1. That's why.
That's why. That's why. But they got him as the highest odds, even over Cam Ward. And Cam did struggle in that Florida State game a little bit, not necessarily a struggle, but it wasn't as easy as it has been, put it that way. And Ashton Genty had an off day. He rushed for like only 180 yards for 1 touchdown. So that's going to hurt him at Boise State, to be honest, because he's not scoring 1 million touchdowns every game. But to answer your question, this should be Travis's award running away. He's the best player in college football. It's not even close, to be honest. If you look at what he does on the football field, what he brings on both sides. I sent y'all out a stat today that he was the offensive and defensive player of the week in the Big 12, which is unheard of to garner the award on both sides of the ball. He's the best player in college football, which is what the Heisman should stand for. But to answer the question, Shadeur should be mentioned, but he's not in the top 4.
Nick?
Shadeur's climbing up the charts for me. This season, I was the first one to say, like, I don't know what he is, but I'm tired of. We've been getting a lot of hyped up QBs over the last few years. Hold on, let me finish.
No, all I'm gonna say is that you said that it all depended on his wins and losses.
That's what I'm saying. Like, those are the main 2 things I've been questioning for him and Deion. I was like, I don't think we should give Deion any hype, any praise if he ain't winning in the sport that he claims he wants to have an impact in. You know what I'm saying? And he's been doing that this year. He won more than he won last year. He's flirting with a playoff bid, but definitely they're going to be in a bowl. Well, I won't say definitely, but they should be in a bowl game. And Shadeur's look good with and without Travis. So to me, it's like he's separated himself over this long season of being probably the best QB prospect coming out of this class if he comes out this year, because it depends on. I legit think he will stay another year if the Browns are picking number 1 overall or the Panthers. So he'll try to go somewhere else. But I think if he finishes out with 10 wins this season, he should definitely be a top 4 candidate in the Heisman Trophy, just for the fact that he's taken a program that was dead and literally brought it to life. Him and his dad, of course, but he has to win the games. His daddy ain't on the field. So he's climbing up my charts as far as like recognition. But I guess for right now, he probably won't be, but he will get up. I mean, look at Jalen Milroe fell off. What's his name? Quinn Ewers fell off. Like, there's been a couple people that we thought were going.
Quinn was hurt.
Nonetheless,
but he played he played and still fell off.
Yeah, he that's what I'm saying. Like, when he came back, he didn't keep on going. So like, there's been some quarterbacks that's fallen off. If I feel like if Miami takes one loss, that's gonna bring down Cam Ward because he's been looking shaky in some of these games. But yeah, I think he can kind of will his way onto the list. I know his dad put it out there. That's why I wanted to have this conversation with y'all. But his dad's been saying, like, I don't know why no one's looking at my son. Maybe it's because
there's a reason.
Sorry. But yeah.
Oh, stop it, Ken.
It's not going to happen.
I'm gonna give Shadeur. Now, I will say there's increased pressure now because my expectation now, like, they should be able to win the rest of their games. If you that nigga,
that has anything. That has nothing to do with Shadeur Sanders, though. He's still going to be a top 10 draft pick, and he's still going to be a Heisman finalist, regardless.
I've been telling him that this whole time.
He's not going to be a Heisman finalist.
I'm just saying, it's like for me,
he'll finish.
Because right now we're looking at him we're looking at him in the NFL right now, right? We're looking at everything we're looking at in college. We're thinking about how does this translate to the NFL. So for me and for my judge of QBs, because y'all know I'm the best QB judger of the whole panelist. I mean, maybe Q is like, right, my assistant coach in that regard. I need to see him up with the big dogs. That's the one thing that we haven't really seen.
What does that mean?
It means
big dog. It means a lot, bro. You know what
they said that.
He plays Division I college football. What are we talking about?
They said that when he was at Jackson State. Now he's playing with the big dogs, and these
are not big dogs.
First of all, he had to go. He had to leave Jackson State. We already know that he wasn't getting drafted top 5, staying at Jackson State. We know that. Even though I love for them to still be at Jackson State for what they were doing for that community, but we knew he wasn't going to get drafted the way he is because if he would have stayed at Jackson State. So that's why he had to leave. But now he's with them. Like, we seen him play a couple teams that's put, belt to ass to Colorado. Now they've gotten more better over the course of the season. I want to see them get into a bowl game, a playoff, hopefully, and see what he can do against actually real competition.
I've seen what I need to see from him. And I'm going to tell you what I've seen. I've seen him fight back through adversity. I've seen him get his head knocked off and keep getting up 80 times, whereas other quarterbacks will fold under that type of pressure. That's all I need to see. If you notice, when I talk about quarterbacks, what I talk about the most is how they respond to those adverse moments. That's what I used to talk about when I talked about Zach Wilson more than anything. As I talked about, I could see the fear in his eyes. I could see him shaking. And that's why I didn't believe in Zach. I saw in Shadeur.
Like, that's a hot take, bro. We didn't normally this Zach for game 1. We said that before the draft.
I was the only one saying Zach because some people, I ain't saying you, but some people were saying, "Oh, look at the throw he made in the train." Bro. All that stuff was being said.
We was all in this chat talking about who the hell is Zach Wilson and why is he number 2? Why is he a top 3 prospect?
Wasn't nobody talking about that with me, because everybody was looking at the highlights of him warming up, and that's what everybody was going off of. And I said, I watched him play those games at BYU, and he's not that. My point is, you see the fear in eyes. With Shadeur, you don't see that. You don't see him. You see him bounce back. Yeah, he makes mistakes, but I'm okay with mistakes. I'm just looking for fear, and I don't see fear.
What you looking for, Q?
Man, we talking about Bronny James or something. So
stop it,
when it comes to Shadeur, like, he looks like he has the mechanics to be a good QB. I kind of sit between where Spike and Sheldon are and where Ken and Nick are, where it's like, yeah, he can only play who's in front of him. The mechanics look right. I look at it similar to like an Eagles draft pick we had this year with Quinyon Mitchell, where he played at a small school in Toledo, but the technique was there. And we drafted him based on technique. We didn't really care because he wasn't facing Justin Jeffersons every week. He wasn't facing the Malik Neighbors of the world, sure, but the technique was there, and we drafted him. And right now, it looks like we're able to hit on that draft pick. And with Shadeur Sanders, the same thing should be true. And all we're talking about is theoretical at this point. I think that we have to be on both sides of that. That theoretical could mean, yes, the technique is there and he should be a good draft pick, but our theories can be wrong. And there's still something to be said about where Nick and Ken are coming from with the competition. I don't think that he's facing premier talent, but that doesn't necessarily negate or affirm the argument that he's going to be good or bad. It's just is what it is. So I got to see it, man. If I had to bet on it, I would bet that Shadeur is going to be a solid quarterback in the league. I can't see top 5, top 10 guy right now, but I can see that mold of perhaps 1 or 2 years that he could work his way into what Jordan Love did or whatever. But he needs a little bit more for me to look at it. A little bit more competition probably.
Let me ask you this, right? Because I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me when I watch Shadeur play, 100% of what Shelton said, he never looks scared. Like the moment's never too big for him. It's like like he was placed here. Like I'm cool with the atmosphere. I'm cool with everything. The biggest thing I take away every time I watch Shadeur play is when he's looking down the barrel and there's a defender going to light him up. It doesn't mess up his throw. He is going to throw through the defender, right? Is he going to miss? Of course. Like he's human at times. But the fact that he's not scared of taking that hit and it doesn't mess up his accuracy like that, regardless of the talent he's playing against, I feel like that translates. That's one of the biggest things that translates. And also, I say all that to say, you don't think that he can be a Dak Prescott? Right, like a guy that's fringe top 10, a guy that in the right system with the right players around him, it's like, oh, he's gonna put up numbers, he's going to get you to the playoffs. Now, franchise QB, superstar QB, it's like a Mahomes or a Tom Brady, right? Where you can give me scraps and I'm gonna cook you a 6-course meal. Right. Yeah. I don't know if Shadeur is that type of quarterback, but I do think that he can be a Dak Prescott like quarterback where the situation is right. We could win a lot of games. We could put up a lot of stats. We could put butts in seats, and you're going to pay me big money. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I see him in that mold. Not necessarily a Dak. I feel like Dak is a little bit more talented, but I see him like a Jared Goff type. Like he could be a Jared Goff.
That's a great thing. He's a black Jared Goff.
Yeah, and the thing is always that Jared Goff is contending for a Super Bowl, so that's not at all like a knock.
Why you shake your head, Sheldon?
Because Jared Goff, the difference between the two of them, once again, goes back to what I said. Jared Goff at times nuts up under pressure.
He do.
That's exactly what Shadeur does not do. Well, I'm not saying he's not talented.
That right there is the theoretical side of what we've seen him go against. So for right now, yeah, he doesn't get rattled because he's not going up against South Carolina Jadeveon Clowney's. He's not going up against, like LSU defenses 2020. He's not going up against these guys. So of course he might look better than he is, but the technique that we're seeing against that quote unquote lesser talent should allude to the fact that, all right, if you put him around heightened talent on offense, it should balance out a little bit. That's what the theory should be, but we can't confirm it until we see it.
But wasn't he hit more than any other quarterback last year?
That's true. That's true. That's the record, and
he has to get back up.
Yeah,
he's quarterback to take another step.
That's true, but the record shows that when he got hit, they didn't win anything. So it's like, and that has nothing to do with just him. But
that's QBs in general.
Yeah, bro. It's like I'm not trying to damn him if he does, damn him if he doesn't. I'm just saying we have to go off what we see, and we have to be real about what we see. It's like
that's what. Sorry to cut you off, Q, but that's why I love Joe, because I was trying to think of he's not a Dak Prescott, but you made it perfect. He is a Jared Goff as far as when he has a clean pocket or when he got time to throw, he can make something happen.
But see, we've seen him do it when he didn't have one. Nick.
No, exactly. I'm not saying he can't ever do that. I'm not saying that's why I say he's a black Jared Goff, so he can do something extra. but I'm just saying as far as his technique and how he how he moves in the pocket. He doesn't really move. He's not a scrambler at all. Trust me. We talked about it because remember he tried to juke somebody, Shelton, and he looked like he just stood in the same place. He was doing a Harlem Shake. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's not that athletic, but he is accurate. He knows how to throw a good deep ball, and he, unlike Jared Goff in like most cases, he's done it the last few years, but like when the pressure comes on, like he can still step into that, like you said, FIFO, step into it and make a throw and make a play or do something. And he doesn't like giving up on a play for better or for worse, because he does take some unnecessary sacks. That's what I would also say.
That he does. That's one of the things. I'm sorry, real quick. One other thing about him is that he does work the ball, spread the ball around. He doesn't necessarily have a favorite receiver. I like that about him too. He's looking for the open receiver as opposed to I got to get the ball to Travis. He's moving the ball all over the place.
Throughout the course of the game,
Travis
but in the
is his
clutch,
guy.
I know he's his guy.
But in the clutch, he'll go to Travis. Because he be calling him out like, "Hey, bro, just catch the ball." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come right back to you. But so I do agree, Shelton. Throughout the course of the game, he's looking for the open guy. But in them clutch moments, of course, he's gonna look for his main guy.
One.
Yeah, that's how it should be, though.
Yeah, but he's not solely focused on Travis. Like I ain't got no.
He's not forcing it.
Yeah, he's not forcing it.
Maybe Travis didn't get open.
I think he's right now. I think that if everything translates and the talent level raises around him, I think he's right now. I think he's a luxury Brock Purdy. I think he's in that Justin Herbert tier. I think he's in that. Bro, like Brock Purdy, y'all just said Brock Purdy was one of the best QBs last year.
It's the detail. It's the adjective before the Brock Purdy part is hilarious.
Because to me, Brock Purdy is not that guy. He's like, the system.
I get that cue.
I don't get that. No, because Brock Purdy was the last pick in the NFL draft.
Not the pick.
Tom Brady was.
Right. No one is.
Go ahead.
But it has to do with the pick, though, because no one is expecting Shadeur to go as the last pick in the NFL draft. If anyone drafts him, they're going to draft him as a franchise quarterback QB. That ain't Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy only developed that when he was with the 49ers. Shadeur is going to come in as being that dude.
I mean,
and that's based off what he's done in Colorado. That's based off the skill set. Y'all may think it's low to bottom tier level when you're talking about Jared Goff or Brock Purdy, but still the fact of the matter remains he's going to be a first round pick, and people are going to expect him to be a blue chip quarterback.
I don't think people will expect that, dude. I think that people, when they take him, I think that people are going to expect that there's going to be a little bit of work that has to be done, but there's a great base that's
I disagree with you on that, Q.
The marketing branding has been the marketing branding has been too strong.
Yeah, they want him.
Now if Bronny got scrutinized early, he gonna be scrutinized early too.
And still, even Bronny was a second round pick.
So okay, so I think the thing is we know he can play the game. There's no denying that. We know that. As far as him being a Heisman candidate, like the only way he's gonna make it is if Deion keeps pushing him, and that's it. All people have been talking.
Heisman candidate right now.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He's outside.
He hasn't been. He hasn't been. Spike. We've been trying to tell you this. Everybody talks about Travis Hunter, even Shelton, and Shelton loves Shadeur. All he talks about is Travis Hunter Heisman. People have been trying to put him in the race. And that's why Deion got to speak up for him. He's not, you pull up the odds. I just was Googling it. It's not happening unless his daddy keep marketing and pushing for him. That's why his dad had to say something.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Where's he in the odds?
In the odds,
way down.
He's not even listed. I'm gonna tell you the odds.
Put your money in there right now. Then.
Yeah, it's Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty. They even got Cade Klubnik from Clemson in here. Carson Beck.
Gabriel's the Oregon QB, right?
Yes. Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, which he should be. Garrett Nussenheimer, who from LSU, he shouldn't.
That's not a real person, but
right. Drew Allard, who's Penn State's quarterback, but he's hurt. And Jalen Milroe.
He's 7th.
No, he's not on this list.
He's 7th. He's 5,001.
This MGM. No,
I think that's probably appropriate.
I'm looking at the MGM list too. He's 7th.
That's probably appropriate. That's probably appropriate.
But I mean that don't prove my point at all. Y'all are right. When y'all say what y'all say,
5,000
this.
is
Yeah, that's a
last
lot.
because all of them are 5,000 to 1, which is
He's
Jackson
7th.
Dart. No, all of
Seventh.
them are 7. All of them are tied for 7th. Jackson
He's
Dart.
still 7th. Just like you think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, nigga. He's still 7th. It don't matter how many people tied for last place. He's still last place.
They all last place.
Hilarious.
Just like Jalen Hurts still last place in the league at quarterback. He's still last place.
I get it.
Anyway,
We're gonna get to
but you know, hey, now that Deion started talking, you're gonna see some movement. You best believe that. And if some of these guys start falling off, you bet it could happen, huh?
Do you think he has enough opportunity, like in terms of big time opponents, and is he going to have because he's had really, really good games, but he hasn't, in my opinion, hasn't had dominant games, 400-500 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like it just gaudy stats. Like he hasn't had gaudy stats.
I think that Travis Hunter is hurting him, honestly. That's all people look at is Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball. That is the conversation coming out of Colorado.
Mm-hmm. And especially because no one's ever done that. Like
you know what's kind of happening with him is similar to what was going on with Matthew Stafford early in his career, where people didn't know if he was really that good because he had Calvin Johnson, where everyone was like, yeah, I mean, but who can't be good with Calvin Johnson? Like Matthew Stafford could have had 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they're like, look who the fuck he throwing it to. Like that's not really, but they didn't see the greatness that he was, working with. But
I feel that I've seen Travis play without them guys. I mean, we've talked about it on here, and it's still the same results. So, but I get the knock if people want to make that assessment, but they got to also look at those games, and it wasn't that much of a difference from what I saw. But nevertheless, we'll see what happens. But it's daddy talking. So Deion probably about the only black man that can make white folks move when he speak. But Q, you were talking about not good. So let's get to that. The San Francisco 49ers defeated the Dallas Cowboys at home on Sunday Night Football 30-24. This isn't about the Cowboys.
Hey, mute their mics, Ken. Get these niggas out of here, man.
Oh, mama from the train.
So I know where this is going. So I'm gonna start with the question because I know y'all gonna pivot at some point. But at 4-4, are the 49ers back on track to make a playoff push? Here's what I say. I say that division is awful. Everybody got a shot.
I think the division is sneaky. It's like it's like one of them gambling rings where it's like you can make some money, but you really shouldn't gamble there. Like that's what I feel like the NFC West is. Like they got some sneaky. The Rams, the Cardinals, the
Cardinals, and the 49ers. All of them are good. Yes.
Jimmy regressing, bro. I'm not Jimmy. What's his name? Gino.
No.
Gino. Anyway, y'all.
All of those teams can win.
You said the Cardinals are good?
I said
they're number 1 in the division, FIFO.
But does that make them good though? Just because you win in your division doesn't make
what
them
else
good?
would make them good other than being number 1 in the division?
The Steelers number 1 in the AFC North. That don't mean they're the best team.
They're good. I ain't saying it was the best. I said they're good. All I said was they're good. The Cardinals are a good football team.
Yeah, well, we talking about.
I watched them come back. I watched them come back against the Dolphins. The Cardinals are a good football team.
He said against the Dolphins.
I'm not. Yeah,
with Tua. With Tua.
Tua just got his brain back.
Tua got more tuna in his head.
The Cardinals are better than a lot of y'all favorite NFC teams.
Like who? Who are the Cardinals better?
You can't name
just the Cowboys.
They're better than the Cowboys. They're better than the Vikings. They're better than the Eagles. Sheldon.
They're better than the Vikings?
Absolutely.
Don't even respond to
Cardinals.
He's a hurt man.
Y'all falling for the smoke screen. We talking about the Cowboys right now.
We're not. We not.
Yeah, we is. No, we better have his eulogy.
We talking about the 49ers.
Let's get into that. You know what I'm saying?
The 49ers, they back on the playoff push though, I guess. I don't believe it. I think the Rams are more dangerous though.
Hey, let me say this. I don't know if I don't think they're back on track, only because they still haven't figured out a way to close games. They damn near blew that game last year if Dak could have done or the Cowboys could have done anything. they was blowing another 4-quarter lead. That's a problem. They got to figure that out.
And if the refs called that pass interference, but obviously we know how things are with NFL, you don't leave it in the refs' hands. That's a different game.
Yeah, Bosa was.
So what are we discussing here with these Cowboys, man? Like what is there even to say at this point? Like
the question about the $40, Q. Stop trying to get to
Jerry Jones want a refund.
Shit, man. Like Trayvon Diggs telling niggas to talk to his nuts and shit. Like it's getting crazy, dude. Like I don't know what's going on. Dak is at the podium talking about it starts with me. You know, it starts with me. It starts with me. It's like every damn game it starts with him. Yeah, it does start with you, but it don't end with you because
it ends there. That's where it ends.
Hey, niggas signing the checks, man. But like I don't even know what to say because Jerry, this is his mess. This is the bed that he's made. He got to lay in this. I don't even know how much percentage to put on Dak. I'll probably say like 30% is on Dak because you got the corpse of Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. Like you didn't even like. Where is the foresight to see that Derrick Henry wants to come to your team? He works out in the offseason in Dallas. And I understand Cowboys fans want to tell me that, oh, well, Dak won't take a pay cut. Dak won't take a pay cut. Jerry got all the money in the world. The 49ers somehow can keep pulling millions out their ass every other year for all these positions. And they can't find $8 million for a 2-year deal for Derrick Henry because he wants to stay in his home or wherever he's at. I don't understand what's going on here.
Part of that with
go ahead.
Part of that with the Cowboys, Jerry Jones was talking about was schematic fit, not just fitting them under the salary cap.
That's bullshit.
All I'm saying is
bullshit.
All I'm saying is
he admitted that he was wrong, though.
Hey, Lou. At what point in the game? I have the same question I asked you last week. At what point in the game did you give up? That's all I really want to know. I'm wanting to know at what point did you know it was over? Was it?
And did Dak bring you? And did Dak bring you back a little bit?
When Dak threw the second interception. When he was looking for CD line he was looking for him up the sideline and just like shorted it and like, what are you doing? Why would you throw that ball right there? That was when it was over. Because to Q's point, it ain't necessarily got as much to do with everybody else than it does with Dak. And I may be being hard on him, but they paid him the highest paid salary ever in the NFL because you're expected to be better or lead when everybody else can't step up. Yeah, you have a washed up course of Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb is the only person that you have. Yeah, the offensive line may be skeptical, but at the same time, when you're paying someone like Tom Brady or you're paying someone like Patrick Mahomes, and I don't want to hear that Dak isn't in that ballpark because he gets paid more than them. So if I'm paying him more than them, I'm expecting him to do as much. And he can't do shit but throw interceptions and make bad fucking reads. So that's the reason that's the reason that the Cowboys are in the position that they're in, because they expected Dak to be a game breaker, and he's not. He's just an average, regular quarterback who needs a really good football team around him to be successful. And if there's not a really good football team around him, he's not going to be successful. There can be good coaches. There could be a good. What's that?
I had to cut you off because don't you think that the two people you listed have exceptional things around them in some manner? And some like, okay, the Chiefs might not have this stellar wide receiving core, but they got Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? Like that's exceptional.
You shooting the bail, Q. Don't do that.
It's the truth, bro.
Let him dig himself out of his hole.
No, Dak does not have. Like I understand telling the QB that you got to step up, but how do you step up in a dilapidated building? Like they ain't got steps. Like you know what I mean? Like how do you step up how do you step up with no steps?
I've seen some of them. I've seen some of them interceptions, and he's thrown some of them interceptions, and they've been terrible. So
I don't know. I don't know if he had a better coach than McCarthy, that he would be doing the same things. I don't know that. So Q's got a point. If he had an Andy Reid or a Bill Belichick on the sideline, maybe he would be different. But I don't know that. Yeah. And yeah, you can blame Jerry for that. Q, like you're saying, I would go 30% Jerry, 30% Dak, 30% McCarthy, 33. As far as it's a bad coach on the sideline who can't get Dak right. It's a bad person up front in the personnel office who can't put the people around Dak. And then it's just Dak. Like, you're not the dude that they're paying you to be. It's never going to happen. You're just going to be average for the rest of your career. Like, bro, unless you have an exceptional football club around you, then you will never be the quarterback that the Dallas Cowboys want you to be. And that's just what we deal with.
Yeah, 30, and 10% go to the fans, Lou.
Nothing goes to the fans. We've been bearing. I've been wearing this hat for 30 years, Sheldon. I ain't gave up yet. I'm still here. I ain't raised a doubt. I'm still flying the flag. I came here Tuesday after getting my ass whooped and put this hat on. I wore it around all day today. Got ridiculed from random ass people in fucking Publix parking lots, but still, I got this hat on. So it ain't got really a lot to do with the fans, other than it's Jerry, one who doesn't want to hire a coach who can put this shit in right, and then it's the coach who's on a 1-year deal, and I mean, what is he supposed to do? And then it's the quarterback. He's not as talented as he's getting paid to be. It's never going to happen depending on Dak Prescott.
But my thing with all of this is, and this is the one thing that will not change. And I could kind of probably mention this when we get to the other subject too. But Jerry Jones is just, I really think he set them all up to fail this year, like purposefully, more than normally, because normally he don't really, his actions don't really cause any change anyway. But this is like you mentioned, Lou, like he doesn't give your head coach an extension at all. He basically saying like it's a play a year, like, you know what I'm saying? He waits till the last minute to re-sign Dak and CD. So that you could,
which could have saved him $20 million in free agency.
Exactly. He could have had more bread to make something. Like, to me, it's like if he wanted to do those things, he would have done them. You know what I'm saying? It's like when your girl say, like, I know you want to cheat on me because you keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't tell me you sorry, nigga. Like, you keep doing, like, you could have done all these things. Like, especially like you mentioned, Derrick Henry was literally begging. He had the plane, he had a first class ticket to Dallas, saying like, nigga, why ain't y'all calling me yet? I don't worry. I'll go to Baltimore, but I'd rather go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like he really just set this team up to lose, because like we don't even have to get to the playoff teams because we know that Dak. But regular season Dak is supposed to be the whole reason why you paying him all this. Yep. And if you're not setting him up, and we know how that Dak operates, if you want to get 12 wins, you got to set a nice run game and a solid defense. And it's just like
you're a front runner. You got to be ahead too.
I gotta play.
Like Dak can play great from ahead. Dak is not an improviser, and that's one of the best things. All of the top quarterbacks in the league, when you're talking about Lamar Jackson, you're talking about Josh Allen, you're talking about any top quarterback in the league.
I disagree. I disagree with you on that. I disagree.
All of the top quarterbacks in the league are improvisers. They can make a play happen. You look at Patrick Mahomes week after week, rolling out after the play is broken down, doing those plays where he can connect with the receivers. With Kelsey, he did that shit all year last year. Y'all were doubting him. Oh, it doesn't look good, but he still made it to the Super Bowl and won. Dak is only good. Dak is only good when the play works at the beginning. Lou, if he got to run, scramble, do anything else, it's over. And that's why we're not good.
I gotta say this because to me, it's like with Dak, again, I'm talking about regular season. I know y'all bringing up playoffs and when it really counts. We know that Dak. I gave up on that Dak. The regular season Dak is what I'm talking about. He came back against Pittsburgh and he made a lot of instinct moves that won them that game. Granted, he fucked up in that game too, but he did just enough to win and to come back. I was shocked by that because I was on the road too.
It shouldn't have been that close, Nick. Like,
it's Pittsburgh's defense. But my other thing is this: like, we also think like what we brought up Patty Mahomes, or I think somebody did, and it's like the way Patty's playing. If Patty was playing like this in Dallas with this roster, they would be losing games too. As great as Patty, like if Patty was playing the way he has been all season,
they would.
And you strip away Andy Reid, that defense.
I don't agree with that
defense.
That's
Nick's right.
No.
Nick is right.
The defense is doing great. The defense is doing great, Sheldon and Nick, but Patrick Mahomes is playing much better football than Dak Prescott.
He's got
more picks.
They're the same shit, bro.
The only no. When you're watching the game, shout out to Kid for the NFL Plus app. When you're watching the game, the stuff that Patrick Mahomes does to win football games, whether it's rolling out, extending a play, running for
defense
first
puts him
down.
He's
in
more
the
Dak
clutch.
position to win
That's the
Prescott
those
only. That's
games.
the
never
only
does
difference.
that. He
That's the only
never
difference.
does that.
The defense
That's
puts
the
him in
biggest
position to
difference.
win those games. That's the
Hold on.
biggest difference.
Hold on. Can I ask a
No,
question?
no.
Can I ask one question here? Because I need context. This may seem like I'm going off road, but how did you feel about Tony Romo's tenure in Dallas?
Average to above average.
Average to above.
It's better than Dax. It's better than Dax.
Okay,
No,
so
it's
if
You
not.
can improvise better. Absolutely, it is.
Tony Romo ain't
He's a
never beat
better
Tom Brady.
improviser,
Tony
but that's
Romo has never beaten
Dak
Tom
ain't
Brady.
either.
Like
the
he beat
reason
Tom,
why
kicked Tom Brady out the league.
the reason
That's
why I'm
why I fuck
asking that
with him.
question, the reason why I'm asking that question, I feel like it's very important for Dallas fans to remember where we come from. You know what I mean? You always remember the regime
Tony
before
Romo is
you.
better than Dak Prescott.
I can respect that. But here's the thing, is that I remember year after year after year after year, we're talking about Dak's interceptions. I remember Tony Romo's very untimely interceptions every postseason, every key game, and there was better defenses with DeMarcus Ware and all these people on when Skandrick was okay. You had people on in the secondary. I don't remember their names, but as an Eagles fan, I used to hate going against Dallas in Dallas because you had a pretty solid secondary from like 2010 to like 2013. He had a 3-year run where the defense was pretty solid with Tony Romo. And towards the end of his tenure, started to throw more picks, started to get hurt all the time, similar to what happens with Dak. And I think there's a little bit of revisionist history because the conditions ain't changed. Jerry's still not spending on the team. Jerry's still not putting the necessary people around, and they even had a better O-line. That's the O-line that Dak inherited, and that line it got old, and now Dak is dealing with a makeshift O-line, defense that's makeshift, basically. You don't have much help in your skill positions, and then you have this carousel of coaching from Garrett to and you say they're both clowns, so you have this clown show around this one piece in CD and Micah. So you have 3 good things in a sea of mediocrity and trash, and I just don't think it's fair for any fan to be like because we pay you money, you're supposed to pull all of this out of that. Like, I don't think that's possible.
No, you're supposed to perform. And I'll give you 2 rebuttals to what you're saying. There are 2 instances where the Cowboys could have gone to the Super Bowl and Dak hasn't been in that scenario because he hasn't been good enough. One was when he fumbled the snap against the Seahawks. When Tony Romo was back there and all we had to do was kick a field goal, we were going to the Super Bowl that year. The second one was when Tony Romo threw the catch to Dez Bryant and we caught the pass against the Packers and we probably could have went to the Super Bowl that year. Dak hasn't even put the team in those positions. Well, I get what you're saying. It has been a comparable track as far as what Romo done and what Dak done. But what I'm saying with Dak is he's less likely because he's not taking advantage of any scenarios. He's only gonna do what you're expecting him to do as an average quarterback. Tony Romo did sometimes step up, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm surprised. He's doing better than I thought he would do. He's doing better than I thought he would do with only having Dez Bryant as a primary receiver. You'll never get that from Tony Romo. You'll never get that from Dak Prescott. With Tony Romo, you have some senses where, okay, we ain't got that great of a running back. We ain't got that great of a receiving core. He still led us to positions to be in. We're going to the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott isn't and can't do that. He got to have the best squad around him. He got to have the best coaching around him. Everything got to be perfect for it to work for Dak. It wasn't that way with Romo. Now, Romo did have some fucked up situations where he didn't come through, but it wasn't because of everything wasn't perfect around him. Dak has to have everything perfect around him.
Are you serious? Do you remember Tony? Are we talking about the same?
I just gave you 2 scenarios where he would have been going to the Super Bowl.
You talking about Tony Romo like he was Troy Aikman.
Nick, do you remember? I recall Aaron Rodgers driving down the field on your defense and kicking a field goal to win that playoff game.
Dak Prescott?
I believe Dak put y'all in position to win that game, and the defense didn't hold up their end of the bargain.
Aaron Rodgers, that was probably one of the last great Aaron Rodgers throws.
Games, the sideline catch to James Jones or whatever it was.
It was James Cook, I think. It was like and James Cook ain't. I think it's James.
I don't know what y'all point is.
Jared Cook or something like. No, I'm saying is like
my point is
superhuman that day. Like he had.
My point is this: is that Tony Romo. I believe Tony Romo had a more balanced team for years on end and more consistency in years on end, and he would still sell games. And there were still fans who would say that, oh, well, we got to get him out of here, or There was very split. It was 50-50. People would say, yo, he's trash. We got to get him out of here. And there were people who would say, well, who else are we going to get? Because he puts us in position. He just has untimely turnovers. Dak doesn't have any of that consistency outside of maybe 2016 and 2017, where you had Zeke and then the remnants of that O-line that Tony Romo had with Ty and Zach Fredericks, all these people, Zach Martin and Fredericks and whatnot. Those iterations of the Cowboys undersold and disappointed, whereas the underlings that you have around Dak now, he's the only reason why y'all are even in these games, you and CD, and then sometimes with Michael when he shows up. Everything around him is going against him. If he had an Andy Reid, if he had a Matt LaFleur around him, it might look different.
Hey,
Matt
Q.
LaFleur is arguably the best coach.
Michael played this year?
Q.
Yeah.
What if he had a Zach Taylor? What if he had a Zach Taylor with him? Because the Philadelphia Eagles dominated the Bengals on the road 37-17. The question is Jalen Hurts better than Joe Burrow? And do you believe the Bengals are officially out of the playoff contention? So
Hey, that Luka 3 was crazy.
Hey, real quick,
y'all
that was a
watching.
nasty way to write that question so he could still come out on top as a Bengals fan. Nasty, really nasty.
What are you talking about?
You know what the hell I mean?
That smirk says it all, Nick.
Is Jalen Hurts better than Joe Burrow?
Man, we talked about Dallas yet? Because we talked about how bad they suck. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was bringing it up because that was a question that was asked earlier on a few weeks ago. Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, and I forgot that they even was playing this year. So
who you think better? Who you think?
I'm asking this. The question is for the group, my nigga. Discuss. You already know how I feel.
The whole group feels the same way, except for
there's no one should feel.
No, we
shouldn't even feel different. There's no one sitting up here talking sports tonight should feel differently.
Just to be clear, I never said Jalen Hurts was better than Joe Burrow. What I said was he's going out play him like he did.
No, he did. You ain't say that shit at all. He ain't say that shit at all. You said he said Joe Burrow always hurt. That's why he better than him.
Yeah, the question was actually the real question was which one would I take? And I said I'd take Jalen Hurts because his availability is better than not the ability of what Joe Burrow is, because he's not going to be available on. That's what I said.
I bring that up because a lot of people have been coming at Joe Burrow and they saying this nigga may be he overrated.
He might be.
That's what I'm saying. We can have that Joe Burrow conversation right now. That's why I bring it. Like, if y'all want to have a conversation,
overrated. Ken, if you say he overrated, would you still put him in the top 5?
Well, the thought crossed my mind, and it wasn't that he was overrated, because I think this is kind of like his first down year. But Joe Burrow was supposed to be one of those guys, and the record isn't there. We know the accolades. We know the history of him, playing in the Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. So the thing I was asking myself is, have we seen the best of Burrow? And this is what we're going to have that's left? Are the Bengals going back to mild-mannered, like irrelevancy? Where we only talk about them if Nick is around.
They just need to fire the coach. Like,
Nick keep him alive.
Coach. Like if the Bengals got the Lions offensive coordinators as the head coach next year, Joe Burrow is right back as one.
So what's the problem in Cincinnati?
The reason why is because what Lou said made so much sense that the Bengals ain't never gonna do that. like they gonna keep Zach Taylor in because he took him to the Super Bowl. I'm now on the FIFO train as far as the Zach Taylor welcome wagon is gone. It ain't because of you, FIFO. It's because of him. So you can sit your ass back. But I just think that it was the third and 1 that turned into a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. And he both calls. Like, why don't you do a QB sneak? You literally seen Jalen Hurts do it all fucking game. You could do it too at 3rd and 1 just to keep the chains moving. And 2, that's a 4th down call. That's the goofiest 4th down call to do against that defense. Like when everyone, especially when you know
One of
that like Higgins ain't even out there, so everybody's focusing on Chase. But you want to do a screen pass for him on 4th and 3. Like what are we doing? Like that's so.
He right there with Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy.
At least McCarthy got a ring though, so that's the thing. Like that's the reason why I'm like.
It's only trash when it don't work, bro. And
but
that's what a lot of people say. You want to get the ball in the hands of your best player. They try to play that would normally work on most teams. It just Scoop the G made a good play, and that's really what it boiled down to. I don't think it was a horrible play call.
I don't think it was a. I'm not disagreeing. It wasn't a good play, but it was an easy play to make. You know what I'm saying? Like he made it easy for them to make. Like Sheldon, was that a smart play call for you? If like take your Eagles fandom away, would you have called that?
No,
play?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it wasn't you got the ball in Chase's hands. That was what you really needed to do.
No,
I trust Chase more than
in that way.
That's not what you need to do on that down and distance. Like that's not what
Chase more than the running back.
No, absolutely not. You don't pay your offensive line and your running back that to do that for 4th and whatever it may be to throw to Jamar Chase on the edge. That's not good coaching. That's bad. That's bad coaching. That's why you lose football games to teams that have a running back, a quarterback like the Eagles. That's why it happens.
Hey, Lou,
that running back show outplayed your quarterback. I can tell you that much.
Hey, he did because I was thinking that the whole game. I was like, bro, if they do one more tush push, because y'all know I got Saquon on my fantasy, so I'm like, if I'm gonna lose,
at least give you the parlay.
If I'm gonna lose, at least I can win. You know what I'm saying?
Like, Saquon asked for that. That's why they do it because they did it last week. He was like, nah, this is what we do here. So he actually
Saquon is too much of a good guy. He's too much of a team guy. You see, that's why he ain't on the Giants no more because he was willing to do anything, and they still say no, which is dumb on them. But nah, bro, fuck all that shit. You got a running back for a reason, bro. And it's Saquon Barkley. He's the best back in the league this season. Like, let's keep it a beam.
Yeah,
some of the similarities I see between Zach Taylor and Mike McCarthy are out like right there together.
If the question is
very stupid offense, head coaches in the NFL.
If the question is Jalen Hurts better than no, he's not better than Joe Burrow. That's kind of ridiculous to me. Joe Burrow, in my opinion, I think just from a talent aspect, he's played like a top 5 QB this year. I don't know what everyone else is seeing. I think Zach Taylor is the problem. I think that the ownership group of the Bengals routinely does not invest enough in their quarterbacks. I think from the Carson Palmer days, they just don't invest enough, and you see it in the way that they tried to, kneecap Ocho Cinco and stop him from being like a bigger than life personality. And I don't know, man, the way that you have Jamar Chase being utilized in this offense, even with how much of a monster he is, he's still not being utilized the way he should. I think that even a team like the Giants utilizes Malik Neighbors better than the Bengals utilize Jamar Chase, and even guys like T. Higgins are not being unlocked the way that they should be. This is a game where I just look at it similar to Dak Prescott. It's just like, they're not investing in these QBs. They're not investing in the future of these quarterbacks, and they're resting on the laurels of the talent's going to do what it does. The coaching side on both of those teams that we just discussed, especially the Cowboys, it's the same thing. It's just, I don't know what the identity is. I don't know what Zach Taylor is way too timid. He's way too passive. He's way too weak when it comes to, you can go for this 4th and 1 and you can step on their necks with a screen pass, but trying to get Jamar Chase in motion on like a side out, let him make a play in space. But that's not how you do it. You get him a screen pass and set up blockers for him and let him make one guy miss, and let's see if we can keep the drive going. Take more shots across the middle. They were tearing our defense apart with these
those tight ends.
Every time. Yeah. And I'm just like, you have all the talent necessary to make this a real game. And I think that the first quarter it came back to bite them, where they had that very long drive in the first quarter, and then we came right back and scored, and then we get the ball in the second half, and it's like that's where the game kind of unraveled. Saquon started wearing down the defense, but no, man, I definitely am not going that far to say that Jalen Hurts is better than Joe Burrow. This was probably his best game in 2 years, though.
Nick, I got one question. I got one question just for Nick. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nick, real quick. You want your boy Bieniemy in there?
I'll take a chance on Bieniemy over Zach Taylor right now, bro. I'll say that. Hey, look, y'all always be talking about somebody.
Y'all need to go get Brian Flores. Y'all need to go
give it up.
Flores.
Yeah, Brian Flores is a better.
Well, at this point, yeah, I would take a Brian Flores because at least I know the defense will be good. But
you know he's gonna take no mess from them boys.
But I would if Brian Flores hired Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator, I'm with it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it. Like, I need to see. Like, I would love if Ben Johnson, if the Bengals were like, look, we're trying to maximize on Joe Burrow's career. Fire Zach Taylor because he always starts off 0-2. Like, get Ben Johnson in here. He will do wonders we'll still have Chase. Obviously, Higgins will be gone, but we got a young kid. Like, we know how to draft wide receivers. It's like the Steelers and the Bengals are great at drafting wide receivers. Even I'll say the Packers too. But we don't get the most out of them right now in this offense. And I just like, that's why I put so much. I think I looked at this game and I was like, everybody's pressing from the head coach to the quarterback. Like, they're just pressing because they know they dug themselves in a hole and it's hard to get out of it. Like, every game is basically a playoff game to them right now. They only can go 7-2 to get to the playoffs.
But you think they will get out of there? Go ahead, Shelton.
Hey, kid, I still got. Hey, look, I'm not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have faith regardless, but I'm also gonna keep it a bean. Like,
Nick, you and Lou have no faith. You hedge is what you do. That's what you call me on. You hedge.
Why you?
You hoping that your teams win games, and when you don't, you always we're not gonna win. But then, you know, if you do win, you can jump up and shout and let you know. You don't have no faith. You don't have no faith. Let me say this about this. I understand the question, is Jalen better than Joe Burrow? I don't think he's better talent-wise, but let's put it this way. When they played head-to-head, he had 4 touchdowns and 4 incompletions. We're talking about Jalen Hurts now. He played head-to-head last year with Patrick Mahomes, who came out on top. On the road, Jalen Hurts beat Patrick Mahomes, your guy, right? And then he beat Josh Allen, another top 3 quarterback, head-to-head. So all these guys that we're putting on this list, this Mount Rushmore these last couple of years, have been taken off by Jalen Hurts. So we ain't gonna quit dogging Jalen. Give him shit when he playing bad, but you gonna give him praise when he playing good. Come on now.
Go ahead.
4 touchdowns, 4 incompletions. Shelton, and he made the throws you said he couldn't make.
Shelton, during the Super Bowl, he played Patty too. How'd that turn out?
Hey, he balled out. He outplayed Patty.
Did they win though?
He outplayed Patty.
He did not outplay him because he ain't win the game. He
outplayed Patty.
And I'll say, okay, well then what happened in the playoffs last year? Who outplayed him? Was it a nigga named Baker? What are we talking about?
Baker? It wasn't Burrow.
It wasn't. It was Burrow. Burrow got hurt.
It wasn't Burrow.
After he dusted off
the 49ers.
As an Eagles fan, this is definitely Jalen Hurts' best game probably in 2 years. If you want to be generous, it's his best game probably since the last year against either KC or the Dolphins team when they're riding high. But I definitely think it's his best since the Super Bowl. Just seemed more confident.
Wait a minute.
That's how you know. That's how you know how shitty the Bengals.
This is the best game that he's played in a year and a half.
Yeah, in about a year and a half.
Y'all are trying to convince me. Y'all are trying to convince me that this is an okay NFL quarterback. It's been a year. It's been over 18 fucking games since he's played a good game, and y'all are telling me, man, I want to compare him to Joe Burrow. Y'all are crazy.
I didn't say it's been 18 games since he had a good game.
It has been. You just said that.
No, I didn't say he didn't have no good games. I said this is his best game since.
I'll say that. I'll say he didn't have no good games.
He beat the Bills. Did he not? He played a good game that game. He played good games.
How did he play? How did he play in that Bills game?
He played good. Go back and watch.
Played well enough to win. Enough to win.
He won. Yes,
that's what he do. That's his career. That's what he does the whole career. I played well enough to win.
Game-winning touchdown. Well enough to win.
I think
what is the point in playing the game, Lou?
I mean,
what's
y'all
the point?
Paying him enough to, y'all paying him enough to be an elite quarterback.
Pretty, but we want to win games.
No, y'all paying him enough to be an elite quarterback, and he's not.
When Jalen Hurts does good, I think that we can say that it's an example of what happens when an organization invests in their QB. So I feel like instead of hating on Jalen, you should be
that's
like
really political for you.
You should be
the most political I've ever heard you, Q.
You should be plastering Jerry's voicemail with you see what happens when you get a Saquon Barkley, even though quote unquote worst QB in the league can win games against Patrick Mahomes. Imagine if you give Dak some help. You know what I'm saying? So either way.
Jerry ain't been good since he blocked them black people.
Don't put this shit on Jerry, nigga. We talking about Jalen Hurts.
We're
going back to Jerry. We talking about Jalen Hurts and his very average performance from the Super Bowl until now.
Let me say
he had one good game over the span of the last 20.
Let me say this about him.
Jalen Hurts, yeah, he's who we thought he would be.
How many teams are in the league, Lou? 32, right?
32.
32 teams in the league. There was only 1 out of 32 teams that didn't have a turnover in the month of October. Which team was that?
All right, bro. You put Sheldon, you should wash your hands because you pulling stats out your ass.
Okay, after the dude that led the league in turnovers for the last year and a half.
Your favorite QB is leading the league in interceptions.
Your team's quarterback QB led the league in turnovers for who knows how long. Now he just decided, I ain't gonna throw interceptions. I ain't gonna fumble the football.
I'll take it now. I'll take it now.
Definitely, as an Eagles fan, this is definitely his best performance in about a year and a half for sure. As a team, I'm not really riding too high on this because I think it's a good win. But playing Deshaun Watson and then playing the Giants is not necessarily cause for celebration and being
and
like,
the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean. Shit, I mean that's
the big
like three teams that are one team is excited that the QB had an Achilles tear. One team is just hoping that Daniel Jones can get off the contract as fast as possible, and then this team is struggling to figure out. One team is struggling to figure out who they want to be. So as an Eagles fan, I'm not over here like doing cartwheels like, yeah, we back, it's up. We still got to face the more elite competition
doing that.
So I got to see it, but it's still a good win, and it's still one of those wins that is good for confidence.
Y'all play Pittsburgh this year, right?
Yeah, we play Pittsburgh, but I want to see us against Washington, and I want to see how we play.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
I mean,
Philly should beat the hell out of Washington.
No, they shouldn't
even be close.
They really should.
Watch.
They should.
Philly should beat the hell out of Washington.
Washington always gives us.
They always give them problems.
It's a division game, Lou. I don't know why you acting like it's easy. Yeah, like, and they got a quarterback, bro.
We gonna be in a battle with the Cowboys probably for a quarter or two. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of quarterbacks, just to kind of close this out, Nick, your guy Burrow has a 32-27-1 record for his career, so he's almost at 500.
They letting that white man down, bro. Like they letting that white boy down. Like I'm sorry, like I can't watch that team and be like that's on Joe Burrow. Like that's not on him,
bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's hard for me to talk about him because it's like his stats scream like top 5, easy. But like obviously when you watch the games, it's like of course right now it's a quarterback driven league, so like wins and losses, everybody's gonna take that harshly on the QB. But I'm looking at it like over the last couple of years, like we really have not been hitting. The Bengals have not been hitting hard on the draft, like especially their first round picks. Like I love the first round pick they had this year because he actually helped out because Trent Brown got hurt. But we've been giving up players like Jesse Bates, DJ Reader. I forgot the other. Shinonema Awuzie when he was a little bit younger. Like we gave up on them because we was like, we gonna draft these dudes. We're going to rebuild as we are competing, and it's just not hitting. And we just now gave up Mixon last year. Mixon balling for Houston, too. Like, he's literally, like, to me, he's the reason why they've been winning. Like,
he's been the best player on the team. He's been better. He's been better than Stroud, the receivers.
Like for what A.J. Brown does for Jalen Hurts, that's what Mixon is doing for C.J. Stroud this year.
Q,
like,
I'm gonna have to mute your mic, Q, because what you're doing is shooting bail for Nick and Lou because they're going against everything that they say about every other quarterback because that's always about wins and losses. But right now it ain't wins and losses. It's about he had Joe Mixon. We ain't got Jesse Bates no more. Oh, come on, man! You better come with that same energy. 32-27 is 32-27.
Thank you, Shelton.
What round did y'all lose in? What round did y'all lose in last year?
Stop shooting all this, but you just talking about last year. The year before we went to the Super Bowl. Have you ever been with Dak?
2 years ago? 2 years ago?
Haven't been. Two.
Last year.
Hey, Spike, just mute your mic, bro.
2 years ago.
I don't want to know.
I didn't say. I'm not shooting Burrow Bill at all. I'm just saying like it's hard to make it. I'm saying it's hard to make a case for me to defend Burrow because they losing, regardless of what the stats say. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like
even harder to defend Jalen Hurts.
You don't have to. The record defends him. You
Somebody
talk
need
about
to.
records. You talk about
Somebody need
records.
to.
You talk
Well,
about records.
I know there needed to be some better defense in that Washington-Chicago game because how in the hell the Bears let that happen? I have no idea, bro.
Hey, you know the crazy.
Huh?
Did you watch that game, FIFA? Was you watching it live?
I saw the highlights. I saw the highlights.
You should have watched,
game.
but that was the best game to watch.
Yeah,
watching
I saw it
the
live.
replay on NFL Plus.
No, I know it was a good game, but the fact that Tyreek Stevenson was the one that tipped the ball,
yeah,
and he was the one that was
he should be cut,
bro.
He should be cut.
Nah,
he was making bets on the sideline before the game.
It was number 31.
Yeah, he got humble. You're right, Q. I saw that. He making bets. Talking about you want to bet your mortgage? Hey, look, man, this dude, man, he was extremely humble. So
he looked stupid. No, he looked stupid, but it wasn't his fault. It was 31's fault. 31 was the person.
I thought 29 was the one.
Hey, bro, I don't care. Everybody out there. If I'm the defensive coordinator, everybody that was in the end zone is all y'all fault. Like everyone,
all their fault because the ball didn't even reach the end zone.
There've been a lot of NFL players coming out talking about responsibilities. Well, not even that. More so to my point in it being 29's fault. 29 was the dude that was closest to dude that caught the ball. 29's job was to box the dude who caught the ball out. Instead, what 29 did was jumped up and tried to hit the ball. Like y'all do, who was over on the sidelines waving and talking to the fans. He jumped up and hit the ball. Had there been someone on the receiver behind him boxing him out, which is what all the analysts said they were supposed to be doing on First Take and FS1 or whatever it may be, someone should have been boxing the dude behind the tip out, and he wouldn't have got the ball. And that was the dude's job who was behind the tip. He didn't do that. He jumped up to the tip.
All right,
but Tariq Stevenson was out of position. First and foremost, Tariq Stevenson was out of position talking to the fans in the sidelines.
Yeah, of course.
And then he was the one that ran across halfway through the field and tipped the ball.
Of course.
So if we're talking about box out, first and foremost, bro, you shouldn't have been way over there on the edge of the boundary anyway.
His job wasn't to box the dude out to caught the ball.
You know what's crazy?
We talking about one. The dude who lost his game was the one who was supposed to box the dude out.
We talking about one play.
You had a great week at your bail bonds company, didn't you? Because you out here just giving it up like it's
not a bail bond.
Right. So here's real quick, Shelton. I'll toss it right. I'll pitch it to you. Here's the situation for people listening. The Washington Commanders were in an instant classic, as you can hear the esteemed panel are very passionate about the results of this game, which ended in a Hail Mary that allowed them to beat the Chicago Bears 18-15 on the last play of the game, which, you know, there are two questions we have from this game. One, are the Commanders serious contenders? And two, I feel like this is where you're going to go, Shelton. Is Caleb living up to the hype he had coming out of college? So what were you about to say, Shelton?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that we're talking about this one play as if it dictated the whole game. Washington was in control of this game because of what that defense and Jaden Daniels was doing. Jaden Daniels, to piggyback on what Nick says every week, Jaden Daniels has been the rookie of the year so far, and he dominated, and Caleb has played subpar, just like he did this whole game. Caleb didn't really play well until the last series of the game when they took the lead. Other than that, he did nothing because the defense kept him in it. They kept Washington. They were bend but don't break. Washington was moving the ball, but they couldn't score. So all they were doing was kicking field goals. But there was a chance to win this game. You had every opportunity. All you had to do was make a drive, and he couldn't get it done when it mattered the most. Now, he did get them down there to where they should have won this game. They should have got out of this game with a win. But to say the least, they could have taken control much earlier had he made a play. And he was missing throws left and right.
But to me, it was just like, I didn't realize how good the Bears defense was until this game. Because I also have Jaden Daniels on my fantasy team. and Scary Terry for the the QB wide receiver combo. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, you driving all the way down the field. Scary Terry caught a 60-yarder. Terry was cutting up this game, like, but they couldn't get into the end zone. And it didn't seem like his rib injury was hurting him too much, maybe up until that Hail Mary, but like he was playing very well, but they couldn't punch it in, and they're like high scoring like offense. So then I was just because I was looking at this game like, why the hell is it still 9-zip or 9-9 or 9-12, whatever it was? It was just like, how is Caleb not able to produce anything against this Washington defense up until this game was shitball? From my mind, they played lights out. Bobby Wagner out there playing like he's still in Seattle. Like, they were making plays. They was making plays, and I'm just like, bro, you got all these receivers. You got DeAndre Swift, who started coming back on after being shitty as fuck this first half of the season. I just couldn't believe that he was playing like that subpar, especially after coming off of 3 games where he was throwing it all over the place.
Well, the defense has been good for the Bears all year. The most they've given up until this, well, even in this game, 18 was the most they've given up all year, and that was to the Rams. And we know Rams can put up points. Corey Lyons, I see it in the chat. You are absolutely right. That handoff to the lineman, that drove me crazy. I was like, what are you thinking? Like, why would you give the ball to a backup offensive lineman on the 1-yard line? Now, that's when I thought the game was over. But that defense got them the ball right back and put them in position to score a touchdown to win the game. So they still had every opportunity to win this game several times and just didn't take it. And Washington won it, and I think that's going to have a huge impact on the season.
You can't give them an excuse for giving up like the ball to a backup offensive lineman to seal the game, and then they end up losing it. That's coaching. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Give the ball to a regular running back, score, win the game, and end this. Caleb Williams ain't being done no favors in Chicago, and they need to fire their coach.
Hey Lou, I saw
is trash.
I saw the Cowboys do something similar. It was 3rd and 5, and they handed it to the fullback
to number 40.
Like, what in the hell was that? So
same situation, kid.
Stupid as hell.
Fire the fucking coach. Get him out of here, bro. What are you doing with this offense?
I don't look. Caleb had a lot of hype coming in, but he doesn't look like a bust because he played awful that first game. Didn't even have 100 yards throwing, but he's played better with each game. This was a bit of a down, but both of these guys struggled in this game overall. And Jaden was hot coming in this game, and they kind of matched each other for the most part. Jaden happened to get that touchdown to win the game, which put him on over the top, but and the defense let Caleb down on this one, even though they kind of was bailing him out. But Caleb has to get some of that college shit out of him, where he thinks he's still at USC. These guys, bro, this is the NFL. We say this all the time. These guys come in and they got defensive tackles that can run you down. You're not outrunning people. You're not going to outplay people. These windows are tight. You can't play. Everybody's open in college. This shit is different. You have to play the game at elite level. So when we see Jaden Daniels perform at the level he's playing, when we see Caleb Williams start to make throws, he's not all the way there, but we see the improvement. We have to commend that. Now, can you sustain it? Can you keep it going? Which is why when we look at guys like Anthony Richardson, and I haven't watched him play, but he already got benched. When we look at some of the other quarterbacks that have struggled, he benched himself?
Yeah, figuratively, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, somebody said, all right, he can get all the rest he want on the bench.
Yeah, he can now.
You can. Can you hear the story about that?
Y'all, wait. No, I did not.
We'll get to that.
We gotta tell him, We gotta tell him what happened.
Are we gonna get to that?
No, it's not on the docket.
It's not in the rundown. We need to talk about that though.
Yeah. We need to talk about that.
We'll talk about that during the picks. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Fuck it. Ken, in terms of Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams, I don't disagree, right? Like, and I'm the one that's been saying Caleb week to week has looked better, right, from the previous week. He struggled. I think he only had 33 yards passing in the first quarter, the first half or something like that. Some crazy low stat. Yeah, he struggled. But at the end of the day, Ken, The difference between Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, and I just recently learned this like maybe about a week or so ago. When Jaden Daniels transferred to LSU, the reason why he skyrocketed was they have this virtual reality thing where he's taking mental reps. Right, he's not on the field, but he's literally watching and taking mental reps. And once the Commanders found out that he was doing that at LSU, they implemented it. I think that has a big reason why he came into the NFL and he's been dominant because mentally he's ready. What the defenses are throwing at him, he's seeing it, not only just on the practice field and through film study, but when he goes home and he's like, yo, like I got an hour, let me just go do some mental reps. He's ready, Ken. And we're seeing it. Like he has been on a historic pace. We haven't seen a quarterback come out of college and play as good as he has. There has to be a reason for that. There also has to be a reason for the Heisman. Yeah, because he was a mediocre, you know what I'm saying, very talented, but middle of the pack quarterback, and all of a sudden he's a Heisman, and now all of a sudden it looks like he's in the MVP race. I'm not saying he's gonna win it, but he has to be in the MVP race.
It's experience too. Like you're right. All of these things are adding to his experience. However, it is still, I had 6 years to play quarterback in college. And I can come into the NFL and I can be better than someone who played 2, Anthony Richardson, 1, Trey Lance, whatever it may be. I have more experience than those guys do. I played 6 years at this position at a very high level. And you're right, FIFO, the interactive aspect of it, whatever it may be with the test, the Apple idea shit, whatever you had, that's cool. It's great, but I wouldn't give as much credit to Jaden as I would blame other coaches for saying, why aren't y'all doing that? Why Bo Nix don't have that? Like why Caleb don't have that? Everybody should be duplicating this thing that we've seen be successful with Jaden across every other young quarterback in the league.
100%.
It should be standard.
Even down to the high school level. I don't disagree, but this is something that's relatively new. And we know what football is. It's a copycat sport. Fuck a league. It's a copycat sport.
Yeah.
So the fact that Jaden Daniels has had this level of success, I'm pretty sure, especially with younger quarterbacks, you're going to see this be a norm. Yeah, even down to the college range.
It should. I mean, dude, it's like every young QB needs that. I mean, shit, like Jerry, why don't you have that? You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, like
I would say this. I would say this though. We gotta we talk about coaches a lot on here. I'm gonna give you a shout out to Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn, say what you want, he can turn around a program at least. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see the Commanders this good since ever. You know what I'm saying? RG3, yeah, I'll give you RG3. Yeah. But I think this is more sustainable because they learn from those lessons of RG3.
Jaden Daniels is the best rookie QB I've seen since Andrew Luck, probably. This is a really special performance.
I agree with that. It's been very, what he's been doing is like very.
I'll
take a note.
I'll say Dak's rookie year.
That
came out.
So you guys got on Contenders? Like what about?
I don't know if they Contenders. I don't know if they Contenders because I'm not sure how well
honestly
they will be able to compete.
They got last year's Texans.
They're exceeding expectations, but they haven't played the tougher games as of yet.
Yeah,
so it's going to be
I don't think no division games yet.
Like, I think
they playoff contender. They played the Giants already, but my thing is
that's still like a division game.
Luke, keep it a bean. At the time, Dak Prescott's rookie year, bro.
No,
did you not think this is before? That rookie year was special.
Zeke led that team. Zeke had 1,800 yards that year. 1,800, nigga.
Yeah, Zeke was the engine.
1,800.
That kind of ate off.
Ezekiel Elliott.
I was just trying to make the case.
Zeke set the table. Zeke set the table with that cleaned up.
I'm just saying, like I think he's having a more exciting year than CJ Stroud.
Can they win a playoff game?
I would say
it's possible.
I think so because
I think they're going to win a playoff game. They're just going to lose in the second round.
To me, he could potentially be the scariest QB out there if he has the ability to be like a Lamar Jackson-ish or light, mixing with like Joe Burrow's accuracy, because this motherfucker know how to place the like he
Wait.
throws the ball all over the place, and it's he dotting motherfuckers up. Like
I'm gonna tell you
if you mix
what
the two,
makes,
that's dangerous.
Real quick, I want to ask you to say they will win a playoff game. Are you expecting them to win the NFC East, or are you saying they'll win a wild card playoff game?
I think that they're going to win a wild card game. I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
they'll be the 5 seed most likely,
Yeah.
and they will play the lower seed like the Vikings. Or
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up beating the
Packers.
Vikings or the Packers or something. I could easily see it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I'm gonna just bet on the lack of experience and say
Like
that
they may be
that's
the 5 seed and have to go to Tampa Bay, and they can win that game.
easily. Win that
Yeah,
game, probably.
it's gonna go to
I
Atlanta.
agree.
Easily.
They're gonna have to go to Atlanta.
Or
I
Atlanta.
can
They can go to Atlanta and win that
I
game.
can easily see in Jalen Daniels, Abdul, and Michael
Agreed.
Penix.
Agreed. I agree with that.
you know what makes
Ain't gonna happen,
Jaden,
bro.
you know what makes Jaden special
Yeah.
is the poise. Obviously he has immense talent. So when you're comparing him to Dak, Nick, I don't necessarily agree because Jaden has, and I understand what you're saying. Like, you know,
I'm talking about the
rookie
run.
for
I'm
rookie.
just talking about the run. I ain't even talking about the quarterback.
I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, we gotta look player for player. And what Jaden has is immense poise in the pocket and out of the pocket. He
That's so
has
good.
physical gifts that, you know, only a handful of quarterbacks have, but he knows how to maximize it. And not only that, he's in a situation where what's his name? Cliff Kingsbury, first and foremost, learned his lesson previously in the NFL, came back, and now he's just maximizing his opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to have a franchise quarterback. And both of these guys, you know, it's just divine timing for the both of them. But Jaden, if he can stay healthy, he is going to be somebody that's special. I just hope he keeps his ego in check because that's the only thing that can get in his way.
Yeah, like
I would
what
say
happened with
FIFO.
RG3. Go ahead. Last thing.
I was just gonna say real quick, FIFO, for people who are able to look back over the games, to the point that you're saying, there was a throw that Jaden made, the third play before the Hail Mary. Like there was one that was an out to Terry McLaurin, and there was one before that where he skipped a pass and it didn't make it to the receiver. But the reason that he skipped it is because it would have been intercepted had he thrown it correctly. And that's the point to what FIFA was talking about, just the overall game knowledge that he has versus a Dak Prescott, versus someone who I'm going to try to make it here because I think my arm talent is going to work, versus I know what the defense is giving me. This is what I'm going to take, and I'll take the rest of these 2 plays to trying to win the game. That's exactly what FIFA was talking about. If you look back, you have NFL Plus, look at that third to last play when he skipped a pass to the receiver. And the only reason he did it, because he could have tried to make that completion, but the only reason he did it was because it was 2 people right there that could have intercepted the ball, and Dak wouldn't have did that. So great point, FIFO.
Last one we got before we get into our weekly picks. The Browns secured their second win of the season at home, defeating one of the AFC's elite teams, the Baltimore Ravens, who were on a bit of a hot streak. They beat them 29-24. Same thing, man. Let's look at the Ravens as contenders or pretenders. And then I think the question for me, honestly, is the second part about Jameis. Can Jameis be to the Browns what Geno is or was to the Seahawks?
Don't say was. He still is there.
That's a good way to put that, Ken.
I think it's crazy. The fact that the Browns beat the Ravens was such a shock that they had to go trade for what is his name? Shelton Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, it was like we lost to Jameis, bro.
Yeah. I find that trade very weird because
why
you go and get a wide receiver because your other wide receivers drop the ball, and then you go get Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson drops the ball all the time. He drops the ball on key third downs. He bobbles the ball on key possessions, and you go get Deontay Johnson the ball.
So you think they should have went? You think they should have went Cooper Kupp?
Easily.
Slayton, anybody.
Rams not doing that.
I like
Rams still think they can win it.
Denver.
The Rams still think they can win that division.
Cooper Kupp is available.
I would have
No, he's
got
not.
The Chiefs
He's
almost got
not.
him. Yeah,
He's
he
not.
is. The Chiefs almost got him.
He was before this week, but now they
I
see
think
that
the
they got
asking
both of
price
their
was too
receivers
high.
back.
FIFA.
They don't
If they
want.
would have
That
got
one's coming up,
if
though.
they would have got a second round pick, bro, the Rams is moving off of him, bro.
I don't
Why would
know.
they-
He's
I think they were
31.
asking too much.
Because he old as shit.
But
He's 31.
and Puka's playing well, and Tutu's playing well too.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah.
31.
The Rams
he's
can
injured-
win
and
that
he's
division.
injury prone.
They're not selling off assets.
Yeah, but they can win it without Cup. That's
No,
the
they
point.
can't.
We're getting to the
Yeah,
point.
y'all a
of the
little
season,
off focus, but
we're getting to the point in the season though where wins like this kind of define the characteristics of a team, and losses define the characteristics of a team. And I'm not saying that the Ravens are not a good team, but it's with losses like this where I look at the Ravens as being just kind of a Jekyll and Hyde type of team. I know that they didn't win 4 in a row for sure. They won a really tough game against the Commanders. But beyond that, dude, I'm not afraid of the Ravens. I'm not afraid of them. And to be fair, no team in the NFL is like putting fear in my heart this season because everyone looks like they have glaring weaknesses. But that's what the Ravens have is I see glaring weaknesses, and sometimes in just the wide receiving core, whether it's preparation, whether it's identity for that week. When they want to give Derrick Henry 20 carries, they give it to him. When they give him 10, it's like I don't know what you want to do, Harbaugh. Like let's pick something here. And when you lose the guys like Jameis, it makes me think like, okay, I can see the Steelers beating y'all in the playoffs. I can see the Steelers beating y'all in the regular season. I could see either way. The Ravens could get to the Super Bowl or they lose in the first round. It's hard for me to see what this team is, but no, Jameis is not going to be their like saving grace. Jameis does this everywhere he goes. He'll have a 400-yard game with the Saints, and then 3 games from then he'll have a 4 turnover game, and then it ends up a journeyman somewhere else. So this is his game.
He tried to give away this game.
you have no unwavering faith. You shout out to Jalen for all of the little lower thirds that he's been putting in on point today.
Hey, and I'm gonna support him.
He sound like if Martin Luther King was on opium.
Ayahuasca.
Come on, man.
He's ayahuasca Luther King, bro. It's crazy as hell. It's like,
hey, man, leave Jameis alone, bro.
He sound like if
I'm gonna have a trusted God. Like, good lord, dude.
He talk like Muhammad Ali on Ritalin. Like,
what's up, Shelton?
To answer your question, though, Ken, I think they got a shot. I'm not saying that the Browns are going to be a juggernaut, but they're going to mess some teams up this year. And I say that because you got to look at this team for what it is. They have a really, really strong defense, which they've always had. You just got back Nick Chubb this week, which that's the biggest factor that people aren't paying attention to is the fact that you got Nick Chubb in your lineup. That's going to be huge for this team. They can run the ball. What that was?
I think that's you, Mike.
Right? You got that. He got that Mari back room Mike home.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that was you, and not the father, Mike.
Oh God, Jesus!
But yeah, you add a Nick Chubb to this offense, and all Winston has to do is be consistent, not turn the ball over. Like you said, he tried to get a game away. He threw that ball right to Hamilton.
Hamilton. That's why he a DB. That's the main reason why he's doing
man. That thing hit it.
But that one, the Eddie Jackson one. Look, the Ravens didn't lose on that last play. The Ravens had multiple opportunities to kind of put this game away, and to give them more of a cushion than what they had. But Shelton, like one key thing you said, and it don't go together, bro. This is not peanut butter and jelly. Jameis Winston and not turning the ball over. What the that don't go together, Shelton.
Hey,
we know he's gonna turn the ball over at least a little bit. Now here's the thing. I think and I put this in the chat and I just left it at what it is because I wanted to address it today. Kevin Stefanski is not on the hot seat, and for a myriad of reasons.
What?
The main one being, it's not his fault that they are as bad as they are. He is
Shit.
stuck with.
That's the
He is.
coach.
No, people.
He is.
What are
he
you
is-
crediting it
I'm
to?
about to ask you,
You know,
are you
What's that
saying
accredited to?
are you saying the same thing about Brian Daboll? Because then I would say you're consistent with that. If that's
What's
how you
Zach
feel.
Taylor?
Whoa.
Yeah, you
Well,
got that's
you,
right.
you know
Nick.
how I feel
No,
about,
I won't-
Brian Daboll.
I won't
No,
say
100%.
Taylor. I won't add Taylor. I'm just saying, like, do you feel the same way about Brian Daboll?
Yeah, I feel 100% the same way about Brian Daboll. I think they're gonna let him go only because they chose the QB over everybody else, including Saquon. So Daboll obviously is expendable in my opinion. That's just how I'm reading that room. In my opinion,
Wait. I'm sorry. Brian Daboll is more expendable than Kevin Stefanski.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh,
What I
gotcha.
said is outside looking in, it looks like the Giants' moves have made Brian Daboll expendable, including Saquon. The fact that you are willing to let your best offensive player go because you signed Daniel Jones, that tells me that the coach, you don't really care.
Well, that was the GM because the owner was like, "Nigga, don't let Saquon out the door." And then he went
And
out
look,
the door.
yeah.
Regardless of
People-
however it went down.
FIFO, it doesn't really matter though in the coaching circles, man. They're not shooting bail to no coaches. These coaches don't get a pass, and it's wins and losses. The bottom line, no matter what your situation is, your owner is going to make a move. I mean, it's not.
I understand.
It ain't personal, and I get
But
what
I
you're
think
saying.
Cleveland is different though.
He shouldn't.
Cleveland is different.
But they're
Cleveland
going
is
to.
different.
Nah,
They
Cleveland is
gonna
different.
they gonna blow this whole thing up. So,
no, it's only a couple places that get passes, and that's you'll get a pass in Pittsburgh. Andy Reid will always get
That's
a pass
different.
no matter what's going on.
100.
It's certain places like that, but Cleveland is not one of those places. You went through it where you sat through and watched some of these other coaches. I can't think his name. But they're not going to do it with Stefanski. They're not going to give him that pass.
This is the reason why I disagree. We saw Joe Flacco come in last season and have instant success. Instant success. The offense looked night and day from Deshaun Watson. One game in, obviously, you know, there were a whole bunch of interceptions that weren't caught, but it looked night and day. Did it not?
But it depends on what the ownership did.
The owner said, "I paid this dude his guaranteed money. I want him to start." That's the reason they ain't bring Flacco back.
Yeah,
all of that's on the owner. It's
of course. But what I'm saying is this go round. I don't know if they bring Deshaun back. And here's the thing: if I'm Deshaun, I've already shown my ass that I don't want to really play football.
Hey.
Wow.
That's what got him in trouble, FIFO.
That's what got him in trouble. But Deshaun has been playing.
They getting wild on here tonight, boy.
Deshaun has been playing like he has no motivation because his bank account's straight as hell. So what's the point of him coming back? What's the point?
I agree. It depends on what the ownership wants, man. Because if the ownership is the sole reason why they paid Deshaun Watson, and Kevin Stefanski is like having meetings with him saying, "Yo, I can't really win with this dude." Because from what I understand, Bill O'Brien implemented Deshaun Watson's Clemson offense and made it more oriented to his college skill set, whereas Kevin Stefanski wants to run a lot of West Coast, a lot of just pro style offense, and Deshaun down the field, and Deshaun is like, "Yo, that's not my style. I never did that. I do way more like crossing routes." You know, get more like creative, and Kevin Stefanski is a creative coach, but it's still pro style offense. And Deshaun Watson has been bucking that system since he's gotten there. So I think that the marriage was probably doomed to start, and I think that it's also making Deshaun Watson look even worse. But I don't think Kevin Stefanski's on the hot seat here because ownership. If I'm going to ownership and saying I can't do it, he's not listening. See what happens when Joe Flacco's 37, 36, and you see what we can do with this guy. We can get to a playoff game. So that's where I think we're headed now. Is Kevin Stefanski will keep his job, and they're going to have to put something around him that he wants.
So y'all saying what should happen though, but not what owners think. Y'all know owners don't think like that. Owners don't ever think that.
What are you saying? What are you saying? The owners don't think?
Owners don't ever think that it's them
that's going to happen.
What I'm saying is owners don't think that it's them that's the problem ever. They don't ever. Jerry Jones don't ever think it's him.
What do you think is going to happen? No, in Cleveland, what do you think is going to happen?
If they're going to get rid of the quarterback and get rid of the coach too, unless they're going to win a streak, they're not going to keep this. If this team ain't winning games, they're going to fire him.
I don't see that.
They can't get rid of the quarterback. That's
I
not
don't
one
see
time.
that. It's like never have I seen a scenario in I've never seen a scenario in professional sports where the talent that the ownership wanted to win with and you can't win with, and he gets hurt, and then you bring in talent there's backup talent and you excel constantly multiple times with different guys, like PJ Walker, all these different guys. I've never seen that scenario where the ownership, and especially if you're in constant contact with ownership, being like, bro, this is not my system.
You just
He's
said
not,
Steve
he's
Wilkes.
not listening. He's audibling out of plays. He's checking out of plays. He's not listening to me. And if you're the ownership and you're just on some like, yo, make it work. You gotta have a backup plan. Who's your backup plan? What, going to get Brian Flores? He's not gonna want to come here. Like if you keep Deshaun Watson and you fire Kevin Stefanski, this is probably the first time where I think coaches will get turned off from the fact that you let the coach go but kept the talent. Because it's like, bro, you see what the talent.
We saw them. You mentioned it. When PJ was winning, they did it to Steve Wilkes. It doesn't matter. It's the owner's way of thinking. Most owners are not logical thinkers. They're not saying, well, it's not. We know Brian Daboll is a good coach, but they're not thinking that way. He's going to have to go. He's going to have to because they got to make a change. That's how coaches look.
But they've given Daboll multiple seasons, and I think that I'm not even trying to shit on anybody's fan base, but I think that Carolina and Dallas are two outstanding examples of like owners that have a large amount of hubris and way too much arrogance, and I don't think it's relevant because Howie Roseman wouldn't do this. You know what I'm saying? Jeffrey Lurie wouldn't do this if we saw that Jalen Hurts was playing like absolute garbage, and then we put in fucking Kenny Pickett and we're winning games. They're not gonna fire Nick Sirianni and be like, "Oh, well, we paid Jalen Hurts." No, they're gonna be like, "Okay, well, we have a coach here that can win." The Rams wouldn't do that if Matthew Stafford starts stinking. He's old, and they're not gonna fire Sean McVay. I think have to be a franchise used to losing that, you know what I mean, that or a franchise that's underselling themselves to actually do away with coaching talent that clearly can transcend with just minimum talent.
Well, he's been there 5 years, and I think that Watson getting hurt was the best thing that could have happened because he was losing with Watson. And if he finds a way to win with Winston, that will help him. But if he would have continued to lose with Watson after producing results with Flacco, he would have been out of there. So we'll see how it plays out, FIFO. But yeah, I think, and thanks for that, Q. I don't think I didn't know that because when I saw the results of the game in terms of Winston's productivity as a quarterback compared to Watson, I'm like, well, what the hell is the difference?
Yeah.
And of course, also Winston and Flacco. And this is just a one game sample with Winston.
They beat the Ravens. Like, dude, like it's pretty clear to see that the coaching talent is there. And especially when your fan base is cheering that your quarterback just tore his Achilles, I don't think the ownership is looking at that as like, I think
deserved it. But see, and you're right. But see, that's what I'm saying. That ownership that you're talking about that is so nearsighted, they're gonna have the same sight when it comes to the coach. They're not gonna look and say, well, dang, maybe it's my fault. They're gonna say it's your fault regardless. We've all worked at places that look at it that way. These folks ain't blaming themselves ever.
I think they're just gonna blame Deshaun Watson. I don't think they're gonna blame the fans. I think they're gonna be, oh yeah, no, he's trash.
They should though. I'm with you. They should.
Yeah. I think that Jerome Mayo just saved his job by beating the Jets. So I think he was gonna be, because I listened to that Bill Simmons podcast, bro. Boston, he was the main one criticizing everything Jerome Mayo. They talk about this has been a down year for Mayo between what's his name, Will Levis and Jerome Mayo. Boy, they was coming at his ass. So
I think any black too.
Coaches got a quick. Owners, GMs got a quick trigger on a shitty coach.
Speaking of down years, King, can we get into this Anthony Richardson shit before the picks?
I was going to ask right before we got to the picks.
Yeah. Go ahead, because picks up next.
So apparently, what happened? Unless you want to go and give the synopsis, people.
Yeah. Like Ken, I'm surprised that you haven't seen or heard about this, but the man took himself out in the third quarter and said that he needed a break. He was tired.
Tired, boss.
He
He
Even more
scrambled.
context. He scrambled twice.
Anthony Richardson did 2 scrambling plays.
Yeah,
And
back to back.
he subbed himself out and took a knee on the sideline because he said, I was really tired. They asked him after the game, reporter raised his hand. So Anthony, on that third down play, when blah blah blah, how come you subbed out and let And he's he was like, man, honestly, man, I was just tired, I was really just tired. And he's been getting grilled by Pat McAfee, Shannon Sharp. Everybody's like, yo, you just lost the locker room, dude.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say to that. I think more so than it being a blamable offense, as far as him really admitting what was wrong, he just is not experienced enough to lie.
He's 22.
He should have said it's a hamstring. I tweaked my ankle. I did this, like anything other than I'm tired and I want to come out. That's what you need to say.
This is what you media training right here.
I don't know why.
They would have known the truth. The truth would have gotten out.
Yeah,
the truth.
Exactly. You can't lie in that situation.
Yes, you
no.
can.
The truth never comes out if you're a good player.
But he
hasn't
didn't.
been.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is when he said that, he said it like there was nothing wrong.
Exactly.
Which meant nobody said anything to him until it got to the media.
But
once he said and put it out there, once he put those words out there, that's when the media attacked him. Next thing you know, he's benched. So that's what I'm saying.
Nigga,
but what I'm saying is, I don't even think it was that big of a problem in the locker room, to be honest with you. I don't think.
Yeah, no.
What I'm saying is, I don't think that was the problem.
Professional sports before. That's a big problem. You can't say I'm tired.
Not that, but the way he said it in the press conference didn't look like he had a problem with saying.
Shelton, to me,
he had already said it. They knew it.
That got to do with the coach locker room, not him.
To me, it's just like, regardless if he meant it or not, the world doesn't need to know that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like his age tells you that he does not know how to know the difference between when you need to keep it a bean and when you need to keep it to yourself. Like,
look, we talking about the wrong thing here. Has this man just played his last down in Indianapolis doing that?
Yes,
he might have played his last down in football.
No.
Wait, hold on. This man is completing. His passer rating is in the 50s. This man is barely completing 50% of his passes.
It's terrible.
He's barely completing 40% of his passes. This man has almost a 2-to-1 interception to touchdown ratio. What is we talking about? This guy was pure raw talent coming out of Florida, and he was questionable there. We just knew that he had a crazy arm and crazy legs, but we knew up top mentally he didn't have it all put together. He may have played his last down at least for a couple of years. Jesus Look, Christ. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve another chance. I'm not saying that. The talent says that you take a flyer on this guy, but he may need to sit like Geno has, like some of these other journeyman quarterback.
Already
that may be him.
I think he may have learned from it.
People, real quick, I just want y'all to know it's time to pay him. Next year is his contract year.
Ooh. Yeah, no, they're not paying him.
I wouldn't pay him. That's what I'm saying. Like to me, it's like if the Raiders can't get enough.
This is his contract year. This is the year.
If the Raiders can't get Shadeur,
this is year.
If the Raiders can't get Shadeur, I see them making a trade for Richardson and hiring Ben.
You see someone trading for this dude?
No.
Yes.
Then this dude ain't done.
We give him a 6-rounder.
If Trey Lance got a deal, he can get.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not going for it first. I'll say maybe a third. Maybe a third. I was like maybe a third.
Hey,
I'm just saying
it's
like
the same as Trey Lance.
I think
this is really bad. This is really bad. This is really bad.
But I agree with you, Q. Is like I think he may have played his last down in Indy because I just don't see how you come back from that as an organization. But like and fans want Flacco, and on top of that, this also is this is also Indy's fault. Like you said, everything you said, FIFA, we all knew that well into the draft and well after the draft. Yet they wanted to throw him out there to the wolves. It's like he's a 22-year-old who's just pure raw talent, like you said. Feel like what? Like obviously, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But when it don't, it's ugly, and that's what this is. He don't know shit because he ain't getting coached right, and the organization don't know what the hell they doing.
Anthony Richardson he would have suited so much better for himself if he was sitting behind Flacco for 2 years. He could have learned how to play QB, and then he could have came out there at 24, 25, coming more into his grown man body and being able to understand the mental part.
Already a grown man.
I mean, for sure, but it's like he fully will develop as like a human being by 24, 25. Right. And his mind would have caught up to your frontal cortex ain't even developed at 23, dude, like 22. So it's like he could have been a fully grown man, ready to go, understanding the game. I think that this is a failure on, once again, man, we're seeing that ownership and coaching matters so much in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And people have to highlight that more because the philosophy of an organization, the philosophy of a coach, it matters so much more because it all comes top down. Like very rarely in team sports do you have these just organic flashes of genius just happen. It's always somebody planting a seed that ends up, blossoming. Like you believe in Patrick Mahomes, so you put him behind Alex Smith for a year. You believe in Jordan Love, put him behind Aaron Rodgers for 2 years. You believe in Sam Darnold, you might miss on that. But if we're the Vikings 3 years down the line, let's see what we can do with this guy. It's all about your philosophy and opportunity. And I think the opportunity was there for Anthony Richardson to be a good QB for the Colts. But when you say I'm tired, you lose the locker room, you lose the fan base. They're already calling for Flacco to start. And I think he's played his last down.
Yeah, he already benched. It's a wrap. He's been benched. Flacco started.
I agree with Q in the sense of somebody should have taught you differently from how you express how you were feeling when you took yourself out the game. That's crazy for you to come out there and say that. However,
because definitely, but I'm like, let's not delude ourselves. Quarterbacks have done this. Players have done this.
No, yeah. They've lied about it though, and they know when to lie about it,
right? But they get to the point and be like, "Oh yeah, I nicked my hamstring, and I had to kneel on the sideline and whatnot."
And I had to go. That's all I was leading to. Q. Like people who are in these positions, franchise positions, they know how to lie about it. You can't come out and be like, "Oh man, I was tired, bro."
Yeah,
like tap the head, like I'm coming out, I'm tired. You can't do that.
Everybody who's gone to the concussion tent don't have a concussion, bro. Like they go there to get an IV or something. They go there to get I need a quick breather, bro. They get everybody has their homie on the coaching staff and then the staff who like, hey, bro, I need you to give me a quick shot in my arm. I'm tired of shit. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It is what the fuck it is. But him not knowing that, Jim Irsay setting up another QB for failure because in a different realm though, this is what happened to Andrew Luck. When you kept letting your QB get demolished behind a terrible offensive line, we lost one of the best QBs possibly that we've ever seen. And now with, he should have been a top 5 QB of all time. And because of brain and soft tissue injuries, he can't even tie shoes come again without pain. So Jim Irsay has to bear some culpability in this, but Anthony Richardson, this is bad, dude, and I feel like you just lost your opportunity here.
He made it, he could have just said the coach could have stayed in. The coach could have called a run play or something like that, where he didn't have to, exert himself. But it's a bad look. But this is we got a new wave of kids that's out here, bro. So
yeah.
Don't do that, kid. Don't try to blame it on the generation.
I'm not surprised,
man.
I'm not surprised.
The new generation of kids and how they deal with stuff. That is 100% true.
This is the one time I got to be the Leroy of the room and tell y'all, bro, y'all bugging because it just, bro, at 22 years old is still
exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
No, I'm not saying it's not this generation of kids. It's a 22-year-old kid, period. No matter what generation you're talking about, he don't know what he's doing.
Nah, Nick. Look, man, you must have got a raise at lose bail bonds. Yeah, they done doubled your pay.
I don't work after 8 o'clock.
Okay, shit. For double you might. But at the end of the day, Nick, it's this, man. Look, the generation is I know I sound like an old head, but it is. They're softer, bro.
Don't say that, bro.
They're softer. Look, we
They
talked
are
about yesterday.
Facts,
They're just
Nick.
They are,
overall
Nick.
softer.
Facts.
Look, we talked about it yesterday on the basketball shit.
Facts,
Less
Nick.
games, this, that. They load management, bro. Stop being soft, bro.
Ken, who's your favorite player? Who do you got number 1 in the NBA?
What they got to do with it?
I'm just asking.
Because I wouldn't.
You got Ant-Man
Don't
ain't
ask
soft.
again.
Tell me
Ant-Man
what they
ain't
got
soft.
to do with it, because I wouldn't.
Because Ant-Man is a part of this young generation, and he ain't soft.
And we praise him because he's different, because he's not like the rest of them.
He
Yeah,
the
the
one
rest
He's
talking
an
shit.
outlier.
He the one
The
that
rest of
people
them
face.
softies.
He the one ain't
Shout
doing
out
the
to
rest of
Malcolm
the soft
Gladwell.
shit. He the one that ain't doing the soft shit that everybody doing.
Jason Tatum ain't soft either. He just light skinned.
Soft. Soft. Nigga,
That's
like
what I'm saying.
the life say.
Jalen
Knock
Brown.
my dick out if I say this soft, nigga.
Jalen
Soft.
Brown.
Jalen Brown ain't soft.
Jalen Brown ain't
Soft.
soft.
He does.
Soft. He's soft too. Nigga, come on. What are you talking about?
All right, man. Let's get into these weekly picks, bro. This is where we are.
So that's what we talk about.
That was a rough week for everybody.
Yeah, this is because it was the goddamn Washington game threw us all off. The Washington game, and there was another upset.
I got cheated.
How you get cheated?
I would have been better if I had changed that Falcons pick, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, it was a Tampa Bay Falcons game, and which Tampa almost they almost did some shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
That fumble.
Kirk Cousins, bro. Kirk Cousins.
But did you see that Kyle Pitts fumble?
I hate Kirk Cousins, bro. Huh?
You saw Kyle Pitts fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line that they missed.
Yep.
What are
These referees are killing me right now, man.
What are they gonna do with Kyle Pitts? They have to let him go. They have to trade him to the Chiefs because he
looking good right now. They
he's
getting him involved.
He's saying Nick, you can't.
How much you paying? How much you paying them though? Because you got to pay Drake London and you got to pay Brian Robinson.
That's fine. Middle tier tight end money. But Nick, you still under 500 though.
We coming back, my boy. We coming back.
How many weeks is that?
Hey, I'm about to be in the 20 twins by the time we come back next week.
Okay.
But yeah, it was an interesting week last week. Everybody took a loss.
Is Lou record right?
What do you mean? No, it's my record, right, nigga? What do you mean?
Technically, I didn't take a loss.
It's the Eagles' record, right?
Absolutely.
All right. You talking about my record?
I want to with the dead end viewers, the viewers' choice. Y'all been making a comeback as well. Y'all was shitball too. Just keep it, just lay it out there. But y'all are 12, 10, and 2. The reason why y'all two, because there was a tie. Between there was what game it was. There was a tie in an interesting game. I gotta find it, but I was just like, I was surprised that they couldn't figure out who was the better team on that one. But they get it together. So up next, who we got? Who we got?
Yeah. Where you want to go first?
Let's go with who did I pick? God damn it. Let's go with an interesting one. Something that hits both home and away. Let's go with Dallas versus Atlanta.
Boom.
Lou, why? Why, Lou?
My time you done picked why, Lou?
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna answer for him
No.
because there's been like 2 or 3 weeks he's been going against Cowboys. He had to pick the Cowboys at some point.
That's it.
But he picked them against the 49ers.
Right. No, you're right. And we almost won. We were leading a lot of the game to the 49ers. I think the Falcons are a shitball organization. Like, to be honest with you, like Falcons fans that listen to me, I think they're a shitball, and I think they're one of the few organizations that will let us beat them in the state that we're in right now. They'll make a lot of mistakes. Kirk Cousins will throw interceptions. They won't do the things that they need to do to win the football game, and I'll take Dallas.
See, I say everything you said, but I switch it from the team's perspective to just Kirk Cousins. Because I do think that the rest of the Falcons team is pretty good, pretty solid. I just despise Kirk Cousins because we talk shit about a lot of QBs, but people always like to praise the ones that's mediocre. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
to me, it's like I don't see how and why Kirk Kirk Cousins all of a sudden getting a nice rebrand. Ken, did you said that shit in that bullshit?
I sure
in the chat.
did. Kirk Cuzzo, bro.
No one hears about Kirk Cuzzo bangs, whatever they're trying to call him. But I do think that a lot of people have compared Kirk Cousins to Dak Prescott. He's either the white or the black version, one of the two of the other. And this would be interesting, but I just think that the Falcons got a better team and they're healthy.
Jalen, cut my cut for the beginning of the clip because I want to be able to play that when we whoop their ass.
He said, "We walk in your trap, take over your trap.
Take over your trap, Ken."
Kurt, bro, he buying in. He buying in.
He buying in too much, bro. He buying in too much. But I can't wait to see Michael Penix. Michael Penix is gonna start before the end of the season.
You're not gonna see. Kirk Cousins is gonna have to get hurt.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
That's the only way.
I ain't trying to say he gonna.
Yes,
get hurt.
you are.
I'm just all I'm saying is that Kirk Cousins is.
It's gonna be next year. It's
Michael
not gonna
Penix,
be this year.
I can't wait to see Michael Penix. That's when I'll become a Falcons fan.
And a Giants and a Bengals fan.
I'm just playing about the
just to make sure I got all my cards right in a row here.
Oh, you got to put the Jets in there too.
And the Jets.
I was a Rodgers. I'm a Sauce and Rodgers fan.
Hey Nick, they say they don't even call him Sauce no more this year. He's just been a mod.
That's funny.
Bro, you all pro for 2-3 years, FIFO. They forget about you when you have a down year.
That's all that matters.
Up next, we got an interesting game just for the fact of we're gonna see if he's more Tua than Tuna. We got Miami going against Buffalo.
Nobody believes.
You know what that means, kid? Miami gonna put it out.
Miami gonna win. Watch.
They're definitely gonna win now.
They gonna win off with Tua scramble, and I ain't talking about his head.
Yeah, they scramble with cheese up. He need a couple smothered nice and chunk.
It's that Waffle House scramble, boy.
All-star special. It's an all-star special right there, I promise.
Oh my god.
He gonna play like an all-pro today because for how we picked through. So I'll be interested to see. But yeah, I just think that it goes back to my question earlier that I asked us in the beginning of the season, Ken. I was like, why do we think that Miami was gonna be good this year? I know we giving a lot of grace because of the two injuries, but before that injury, bro, he was playing shit ball.
No, he was. But look, if we look at what the Dolphins did last year, and they're bringing back, right? I talked about the continuity, and obviously, we know football players, everybody is liable to get hurt, but even though Tua is susceptible, even more so now to the concussion, I didn't foresee it. And that's holding them back. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. And they just paid this dude. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the tough part about it.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, who's in a worse QB situation, the Dolphins or the
Browns? Browns.
Well, I was just saying Dolphins or Cowboys between those two.
Dolphins, because the thing is that you can draft a generational wide receiver, DB, running back, whatever that can change the trajectory of where the Cowboys are.
You don't know if your quarterback gonna be healthy though.
With the Dolphins, exactly. So to me, with Dallas, for the most part, Dak has been healthy. You could draft one guy because the foundation of the Cowboys ain't trash. It's just, in my opinion, they don't have enough. Right. So one or two guys can change the trajectory where with Tua, he's one fall away from ruining the season again. Because it's not like they're devoid of talent, but they might have to draft a quarterback just because, hey, bro, you might not play 16 games. So Dolphins are in a worse QB situation versus the Cowboys.
Up next, I forget who's the Redditor who's a Houston fan. He be posting Houston shit all over the Dead Sports Reddit thread. But we got Houston versus the Jets in New York. This game is interesting because I've been watching the Texans because I got Mixon on my fantasy team. Been dogging, bro. I ain't seen this Mixon since damn near Oklahoma. I'll tell you shit. But they be winning. They barely be winning these games. It be like 23-20. You see how they lost to the Packers. Like even the last 2 times they faced the Colts, it's been like by 3-point spread, 4-point spread, or whatever. And it's just kind of like I need to see a dominant win. And I feel like with the way the Jets are, and they already talking shit about Sauce in the chat. Like if they're really that trash, this is the game to prove that like this is the nail in the coffin. The season been over.
Explain, Ken.
Yeah.
It gotta turn at some point, bro. Like,
They got too much fire. That's what I'm saying. They got.
I figured you was gonna say that. Yeah,
They got
yeah.
too much
has to.
firepower.
This is the time, like for what Nick just said. This is the time that it could turn because that these games have been real close. Yeah, no. I hope not.
That
I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, losing to the Patriots, bro. That's a low. But so was losing to the Broncos as well. So and the offense will look better, but now it's like other things aren't coming into play here. So I just think this will be the one that they'll finally get back on track and figure out a way to start winning games again. It's interesting that one loss to Denver sent them on this downward spiral off of one missed field goal kick that should have been made.
Out of everybody, all the coaches we talked about already up to this season, bro, the last one I thought was going to get fired in week 5 was Saleh. I at least thought they was going to wait to that Bill. I at least going to wait to that Bills game and or the Adams trade, which we already know was happening.
It goes to the point. It goes to the point I was making. These owners, they don't care nothing about these coaches. They don't care about what you should, what this circumstance or that circumstance. All they care about is wins and losses, and they'll get rid of a coach whether that coach has everybody's support or not. If the owner feels like, hey man, I got to make a change, they're gonna change it.
I forgot. We got breaking news. FIFO Stephon Diggs is out for the season. This game is a little bit more interesting. And Nico's still out.
I forgot about that.
So what do you have? Torn ACL?
Torn ACL, yes.
Damn.
I forgot about that too.
You know what the issue is with the Jets, Ken? And here's the thing. I don't disagree that this is, if they're gonna turn it around, this is one of those games that they need to turn it around. But the reason why it feels like they are spiraling is because they don't have an identity. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to say he's a shell of his former self, but he's not the QB he once was.
He's done.
The defense is not dominant at all, right? And then even in the defense, it's like, okay, what part of their defense is super exceptional, right? Like they're good, but they're not exceptional at either rushing the passer, stopping the run, stopping the like they're not exceptional how they have been. So again, they lack identity. When I watch the Jets, it's just like, okay, well, what the hell are y'all? Y'all the Aaron Rodgers show. You know what I'm saying? And the Aaron Rodgers show ain't got no game plan.
The final game, which is the interesting one, because I forgot about this injury as well. We got Detroit going to Green Bay, but Jordan Love may not be starting. He got a groin injury, which he had in the last game. However, it's Gucci. What is it? Matt Gucci made the floor. Ain't that right, Lou? Like,
that's right.
He's won. He's proven Malik Willis can win games.
Yeah, but that's
the whole game.
Yeah, if he's not playing, that changes everything for me.
First of all,
this is scratch. This is scratch.
Bro, fuck all that. We damn near all agreed that the Lions were the best NFC team. And here go Spike, Shelton.
That don't matter for
picking Green Bay.
No,
it don't matter. Lamar Jackson said it. We all agreed that the Ravens were good, but they lost to the Browns.
They're the best team when Jared Goff and everything that they got is clicking on all cylinders.
And they
other than that, yeah.
So I feel I think Green Bay.
They got the Lions.
This is when I thought Jordan Love was playing.
Me too.
So I like their chances.
Me too.
Especially against that secondary, because we know what Jordan Love's gonna do, bro. They throwing the ball.
Hey, Malik may do so. Malik may be a above average Justin Fields in this game. He may do some running, but he may throw.
He like Daniel Jones.
Yeah. But okay, well, I guess we'll see how that play out.
Yeah, those are the picks.
All right. Let me hit these.
Nick, you getting above 500?
I got to.
So Lou can go to
If Lou tired as hell. If the Cardinals can beat the Dolphins,
Don't put it on me, nigga.
Hey, Nick, you been winding down for a minute.
boy.
That's why Jalen be getting out of here too, man. He about 10 something hit.
I was gonna say, don't put it on
bro.
me. And Jalen got out here like 10 minutes early. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
Hey, Lou eyes be closed.
Exactly. Lou eyes closed like when you deflate the air bed. He get real sleepy like that. I'm like, damn,
I see it too. I see it every time.
he fall asleep like a sloth.
Oh, man.
All right, man. Rob Costa, Jets might need to start Tyrod Taylor. Nah, we ain't going
Hey,
there.
Rob, you might be right. It might be over with.
No.
Josh Rose, it's taken 15 years of waking up at 4 a.m. every Monday to watch them for the Jets to finally break me. Every Jets fan should boycott this season and maybe Nets and not give a cent of their money to Woody.
They ain't never doing that.
Josh has had this same stance for the last 2 to 3 years on this show.
He tried though. He tried to hold on.
He did.
Josh, he did a good job.
Kid, you may hear from my burner account if the Bengals lose to the Raiders, boy. Hey, I'll be sick. I'm just praying for us to go. We gotta go 7-2.
Max Crosby don't break Joe Burrow in half. That's what you better hope for, because Max Crosby is a monster.
All they gotta worry about is Max Crosby. Ain't got shit else over there.
Another week of people realizing A-Rod is overrated and the ultimate loser. I'm glad people are finally seeing what I've been seeing. You know, it's interesting. Man, that man is old and like 40. I hate when people do that shit, bro.
Don't. But you know what, though, Ken? You can't say that because everybody was just saying he was the difference, though. People weren't.
He should have been. He should.
No, you saying they should have been?
No, I got you. What I'm saying is have that stance when he was winning. They're waiting until the man, starts losing to finally say all this stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't believe he's overrated in the ultimate loser. That makes no sense. He won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers haven't. Dan Marino didn't. You know what I'm saying? And he won 4 MVPs. Like, come on, he ain't no overrated. It's just that he didn't win as much. That's it.
Yeah,
and now he's old.
He
and everybody's not Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay.
Tom Brady wasn't that good.
Fuck that, people. Everybody ain't Patty Mahomes. That's what we need.
That's true. But
the tail end of Brady's career, he wasn't all that, and neither was Peyton Manning.
I don't disagree, Ken. But all I'm saying is that when they went to their respective teams, the Bucks and the Broncos, they won.
The Broncos, you remember, carried Peyton Manning, bro.
100%, Ken. All I'm saying is that they won. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, FIFA,
A-Rod ain't doing that.
FIFA, and A-Rod got every piece he asked for. That's why I get a problem with it.
FIFA, I agree with you. But however, if the Broncos didn't win the Super Bowl that season, what happened with Peyton Manning? We would look at Peyton Manning totally different.
Way different.
We were having a conversation while it was in season.
100%.
He
was throwing ducks.
His neck was fused together.
100%. He was throwing floating ducks.
Yeah, so let's not have revisionist history on that one.
He had a Benzino neck for that whole year.
That's why I said just the wins. Tom Brady went to another organization and so did Peyton, and they won.
Our resident Trump supporter showing up. Hey man, if you're a Trump supporter, you should have more money than that, bro. He doing y'all so well. Who, if y'all had to bet who's winning this election, Trump or Kamala, I hope Trump wins. Y'all don't have to answer that question if y'all don't want to.
I would say Sheldon.
He just wanted to put that in there.
Sheldon, over under Kamala or Trump? What's the over under on
it? I got to say Trump has just about as much chance of winning as Lou has of staying awake.
Oh, keep going. Keep going.
Ain't gonna happen.
I'm awake. So keep going. I don't want this turn. Keep going.
I was about to lose this last game until Shelter's cues don't lose ran through my head. Words of wisdom being echoed into that exuberant mic, and that's what Jalen Hurts. Appreciate that, Jalen. And last one, Josh Rose. I don't want to pile on Richardson, but in NFL history, through 10 starts, his completion percentage is only above Tim Tebow. He just isn't ready and may never be. Golly, that's
project quarterback. Quarterback.
Nah, he is a project, man. I think he's gonna be okay though. He'll be all
We'll
right.
see.
He's gonna be okay in Vegas because he ain't playing in Indy though, bro. I'm telling you, somebody gonna
He
have to
gonna
trade
get
for
back.
him.
If Bryce Young gets back out there, which he did, I think Anthony
Right,
Richardson will too. He's gonna
Indy don't have to get hit by a car. Bryce Young might have set that up.
He ran him over.
Bryce was like, I'm gonna start somehow, some way, boy. He got
How
in a
did he
red
do?
Rover. He got in a
How
red
did he
Rover.
play?
They lost 28-14, Ken. What you
Bryce
want?
Young.
He
He didn't look
Bryce
better?
Young.
Terrible. No.
That team is bad though.
Yeah,
No, I'm looking at the stat. I didn't see the game, but
He's
he
bad.
looked like he statistically
He's
played
bad.
well.
he wasn't
No.
horrible.
He wasn't garbage, but he was shitty.
But he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah,
He is
ready.
who we thought he was. Nobody.
He's not ready whatsoever. And quarterbacks develop at different paces. But once again, you're throwing some.
Stop.
I see some drops, bro.
What, hey, run the final credits. Like ain't
am.
nothing what I
Last
don't
thing I
know what
wanna
show you're
say-
talking about. Like, no.
He had just as many interceptions as that. Go ahead.
Lou saying I ain't staying up for Bryce Young.
No.
Like not for Bryce
I
Young. We ain't
I
doing
thought
that.
this was interesting, so I'll read this and we'll call it a night. This is on Twitter. Sam Block, who wrote Anthony Richardson is 22 bench, Bryce Young is 23 bench, Trey Lance is 24 bench, and he's been in the league 5 years, it feels like. Justin Fields is 25 bench, Will Levis is 25 bench, Zach Wilson 25 bench, Mac Jones 26 bench, and Kenny Pickett is 26 bench. And he said the NFL has a QB development problem.
They do.
It does.
They do. The
I agree
NFL
with
has
that.
been the NFL has been spoiled by some of these guys that come in player ready from day one. They are not all on this same level. They're not that. That doesn't mean that their trajectory won't get them there. You got to give some of them time.
But I see why the NFL is pressing because they was losing a lot of they white man legends quick, and they didn't know they didn't know if these black boys was gonna be box office or not. So that's why they was just running through all these QBs trying to figure out who's gonna be the next one to cast.
Nick,
we found Patty. You know what I'm saying?
Nick, you know what it comes down to. I don't know if you remember, but before the draft picks were slated to a certain salary like the NBA is now, right? Before it wasn't that. Like we're talking rookies getting mega contracts. The last person to fuck that up for everybody was Jamarcus Russell.
I thought it was Sam Bradford. I thought he was the last.
Or Sam Bradford, both of them. It was in that time frame. Both of those guys got signed massive deals as rookies, and both of them were busts. Because that, and then some of these rookie quarterbacks coming in just being ready, the NFL does have a QB development problem. And sometimes you have to identify those ones that are ready to go and the ones that aren't. And the ones that you play that aren't, you should give them grace. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to me to decide. I think every situation is different. Anthony Richardson, again, immensely talented, but he wasn't even not just ready. Like he was a project. Like outside of the crazy arm and the crazy legs, there was nothing NFL ready about.
He should have been sitting like Jordan Love did,
like Lamar Jackson did.
Yeah, and
absolutely, because he never had the time to develop. He only started, I think, 13 games in college. It wasn't like he had a huge similar to Trey Lance. To be honest, these guys did not have. They have immense talent, but they didn't have the time to develop, to learn to read defenses, learn to handle the day-to-day living. And these teams are not equally yoked. So we take for granted sometimes where these players go. That means everything. That's everything. So every program ain't the same.
Right. All right. Well, we'll end it there, man. We appreciate you guys coming through once again, and we'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.